Alrighty, good.
All right, and we are up and live.
Yes.
Hello.
Accounts freak out back and forth. Hello. Welcome
Hello.
to What's Up?
Hello.
Got a hello message already.
Hello, Aaron.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see if the @here strategy worked. That did seem to work for Monday.
Mm-hmm. Ah! That was the wrong lever.
Wrong lever.
It was quite literal. I just plummeted like a foot on my chair.
Chair lever.
Also wrong lever. There we go.
Long lever.
Just in
Well,
mind.
he's figuring out his leathers. Chair leathers? Nope. It's not right either. I would like to remind you this episode is brought to you by patrons like Adam Harp, Architect, Time Bucks, OG, Carlos Dragon, Ferris, Jerry Vasquez, Jessica LeVay, Jonathan Sandoval, Johnny Boslander, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rise of Kenji, Rogue Robin, Charvor, Sean Pryor, some guy named Bam 723, and Varen the Crow. And if you like what we do and want us to do more, consider supporting us on Patreon.
Yeah.
Get access to episodes early and more. Thank you for your support, everybody.
Thank you.
And I actually managed to do that in a timely manner, as opposed to, I think last week it was like 20 minutes in, but it was like, right, I need to remember to do this before I forget. Again.
We like to talk sometimes.
Yeah, and that time we started off strong in Lost Judgment, and you had lots to say and many skateboard tricks to do. So it took a little bit for a natural lull, but while you were fighting your chair was a lull enough. Alrighty, so we're here. You're playing Final Fantasy the 14.
Mm-hmm.
Your Island Sanctuary that appears in the new 6.2 patch. Buried Memories, I think.
Yes.
It's everywhere, so there's like 5 versions of the trailer on the channel. Which this was voted on by the peoples.
Mm-hmm. A couple days ago, basically grabbed... because 2 games I've been playing and I want to say good amounts this week have been Final Fantasy XIV due to the new patch, and Saints Row, also out. I believe they actually dropped on the same day, because I believe they were both August 23rd, yes.
Yeah, they were both Tuesday.
And I've been playing more Saints Row than 14, but 14 has been having connection issues in a sort of amount of ways. So I've been putting much time in, so yeah, it's...
The joke, if you don't get that in the live chat, is yes, there are around 20 votes for 14 and 11 for Saints Row. Obviously, one of those is lucky on both ends because he set the icons up.
Yes.
And then I actually voted to push 14 because, no offense to Saints Row, we're probably going to talk a lot about it. And I am okay with streaming it so long as we remember to turn off the licensed music and don't accidentally show a boob or something.
Boob.
That'll get us in trouble real quick. However, I have watched the numbers, and shockingly, the Final Fantasy XIV What's Ups tend to do better. They tend to get some extra views. Not really sure why or how, but they do. So I figured that was a nice, safer response. For some ungodly reason, and it's not entirely because the first one got copyright tagged a little bit, and we had to spend a lot of time processing muting. But the last 2 episodes with Judgment and Lost Judgment did not do super high rolly. So it's a little interesting to always watch like how game choices kind of affect the overall view levels of What's Up.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I think depending on the game, people prefer different things for different numbers of hours.
Yeah.
That poor one that got the copyright hit. That's still sub 100.
Oof.
Somebody go back and watch that one from 2 weeks ago 5 times. But the one from 3 weeks ago, which admittedly that's a little long, but that was still like about a month ago. That was your last 14 one. That's at 145.
Ah.
It even has a comment. Don't get a lot of comments on What's Up, but that's probably because most of the time you guys are here live. But yes, we have many, many things to talk about. I don't think there were... Well, I don't know. There might have been minor subplot spoilers, but mostly Lucky just did dances and tracked bugs and did skateboard tricks.
Yeah.
Like I said, technically there might have been some side quest spoilers in there, but for the most part, you just did random shit. You played for VR Monopoly.
I do like VR Monopoly.
But currently you are on your island, which is very sparkly.
Well, I'm in gathering mode, and when you're in gathering mode, things that can be gathered sparkle, so you don't have to, futz about in the fucking muck and dirt trying to find, something.
I see. The Warrior of Light is truly powerful. They can destroy a tree in a single chop.
Yes.
Be gone, tree. But yeah, so this is the new thing. And as you said earlier, 14 was having some issues because even though this is not quite end-game content, I would say, it's still... This is in Endwalker. You have to have cleared the main scenario for the Endwalker expansion to access the Island Sanctuary, right?
Yes.
So that's pretty far down the line. I'm trying to remember how many... We've talked about this before. How many expansions does 14 have?
If we consider 2.0 the base game, since that's a Realm Reborn...
Yeah, you should count AAR as the base, because you can't access 1.0.
Yes. Then we are Heaven's Word, Stormblood, Shadowbringer, Endwalker. So this is the 4th expansion.
Yeah, which are full-bodied.
Mm-hmm. They thick.
Yeah. So that's quite a lot to get to. But even so, I read and Unlucky experienced that the game servers were once again not quite up to snuff because this area is instanced.
Yes.
Similar to player housing, but not quite the same thing. But it is instanced. So apparently they had trouble generating enough instances for all the players who wanted to get into their island sanctuaries.
Yes.
But Lucky is here and is driving his motorcycle on his island. It's okay. It's a private island.
I keep thinking I need to switch it out, but if you don't know, this is the SDS Fenrir, Strife's delivery service Fenrir. So it's the Final Fantasy Advent Children bike, which is an amazing fucking bike, and I will slap anyone who does not say so as well. And the thing about it is, it's a online shop item, but it has this lovely little feature where it actually has +1 speed over other mounts. So you go very fast, and I'm like, I like going fast.
Yeah.
So yes, I usually just zip around everywhere on my motorcycle.
That's fair enough. It's not like it's not because it is a cash shop mount. It's not like it's a flex or anything,
No.
but it has a practical purpose.
It has form and function. And what more can you ask for in an item?
Well, it depends. There is the giant flying whale that sits like 6 people.
Yeah, that means I have to be playing with 6 fucking people. Do you know how often that play happens?
I don't know, but we'll see. I would like to. I'll start the shilling early. I'd like to remind everybody. As far as I know, actually, no, I'm pretty sure. Depending on when stuff happens, I'm fairly certain Wednesdays are free now. So this upcoming Wednesday, August 31st, I will be booting up Final Fantasy XIV's free trial on the PS5 and starting it for myself.
Yay!
And that Wednesday may be Final Fantasy Day going forward. Period. We'll see. I'll probably talk about it again when I actually get to the stream. The general idea is to, on stream, mostly do MSQs, main story quests, or scenario quests, whichever the S actually stands for. But do story content and probably do, like, new experiences with certain, dungeons, minigames, whatever. But a lot of, like, rando grinding and picking up other stuff like that will probably be off-stream in my free time. And I may end up doing some of it on stream just to kill time, but we'll see what happens and how it works out for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so, and I say that will probably be the day going forward because the prog schedule got very complex all of a sudden. So, if you're not following along with our Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression Tournament series, first of all, how dare you? 81 episodes. Come on, guys. It's got longevity, you know? You should go check out the new one. It's really good. I'm not saying that because I have an actual shot of winning the tournament for the first time in 20 weeks. But you should go watch it and see how that works out for me. But obviously, being a tournament, it involves multiple players, so we have a lot of back and forth, ups and downs. We have some people who, come in, drop out, as stuff going on. We've already been down a couple of guys because of, real life moving and other stuff. I mean, you could still watch it for... No, you shouldn't watch it for the bits. So, some of them are miserable, I'm sure. But... And we've had people, take breaks just because they're not feeling it for, a few weeks at a time, stuff like that. And anyway, we've kind of had some alternating because one of our players, Robin, you know him from the time codes. Probably. I'll presume. He works every other week, so we already have kind of a weird schedule, and now it's getting weirder because one of our boys, Loth, who you may recognize from streams and also from Yu-Gi-Oh! And some tabletop stuff, is applying for a job that is a morning position currently, and his morning is our evenings because he's in the Upside Down. So that's a potential schedule conflict, and another of our members, Dallas, who's also a moderator in our Discord and in some of our tabletop APs as well, he has a class slot that is on Wednesday evening, in that exact time. So basically, depending on how stuff works out, Wednesdays are probably free going forward for an extended period, depending on what we see, and we will have to see other scheduling days for Prague with people when and how that lines up exactly. Because if we're down 2 more dudes, that means I'm only 4 people, and that's not enough people. And then, even then, every other week we'll be down an extra guy because of Robin. So it's a complex thing, and we'll see what's going on. Axe was, scrambling to schedule, oh, it's fine, we'll just pivot days. And I'm like, no, Axe, you don't understand. I didn't say we have to go on hiatus just because of one scheduling conflict. This could be a whole thing. So we'll see what happens. Axe also suggested we should do Fail Betrayal every other week, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. Because, guys, I have the video analytics, I see the thing. Fail Betrayals are a much better video series than the Prague tournament, depending on the context. Because, one, sometimes you guys tip me money to yell at Dallas, which is just a phenomenal business plan, but also they tend to get way more views when I don't have technical problems. I noticed this stream is going on fine, so that either bodes well or poorly for Monday. Because, let me tell you, I mean, Monday's first stream went out okay, so hopefully nothing got fuckled, but YouTube was being a bitch to me on Tuesday. I had some problems with some of my OBS windows and tried to resize them, and YouTube was like, hey, your stream isn't the optimal size anymore. And it's like, okay, what's the optimal size? I don't know, but it's, you don't have the optimal size anymore. Your stream's not healthy. And I'm like, cool, YouTube, thanks. I love it. So the first 20 minutes are me desperately trying to fix it and literally nothing working because YouTube is just a huge asshole. And then eventually just being like, fuck it, I'm just gonna close the tab and move on. So if it continues to yell at me Monday, even though I have the correct resolution for 1080p and the correct bitrate, and OBS isn't giving me any slack, YouTube, if you fucking sass me on Monday, I'm just gonna close the control room and pop out chat and just ignore it. Because nobody on stream seemed to be having any problems. It's just that YouTube was like, map not optimal. Well, what is optimal, bitch? That's just a personal thing. If I can continue this divestment,
go for it.
Though, actually, I don't know how many people will be like, no, that's perfectly okay for you to tell me I'm doing something wrong and not explain what. Like, but that personally really gets my goat. That gives me a hell of a lot of agita when you go, no, you're doing this wrong. Okay, then how do I do it right? I'm not gonna tell you. What? Why? Like, if there's a problem and you can identify there is a problem, you should tell people how to fix it. It's like in YouTube's like text window where they tell me what the stream health problem is. It's like two extra lines of text. You had plenty of room, and there's no like easy answer when I Google it. Like, YouTube support doesn't tell me the answer to this problem, and it's just
really I do annoying. Have copper. Fuck, here it is. Sorry, I've been looking for this copper forever, and I've been like, why can't I fucking find it? And I just saw Blue Rock. I was like, Blue Rock?
I mean, Axe, from a both a stress and a business point of view, FP is way better than Prague. I don't want to like just kill Prague dead just because we're down a couple of guys, but I am okay with an indefinite hiatus if that is how the scheduling works out, because Fail Betrayal is a lot less stressful on me and it's a lot more entertaining, and I feel like we can get more done.
Give me your copper.
Yep, found all the stuff.
Awesome, I can upgrade my cabin and some other things now.
Nice.
Sick.
So, yep, you're clearly enjoying this, as I think every single person who saw this knew you would.
This is my jam.
While I have to go find where the hell I put my water. Oh, it's way behind me. Why did I leave it by my TV? While I go grab my water, again, Axe, that's not... You're hyper-fixated on Dallas. Dallas is not the problem currently. The problem is that Loth might be taking a morning shift, which means he will be ineligible on some days. So it's like Dallas will definitely block out Wednesday, but if Loth gets this job, which he is genuinely trying to, he will not be available possibly any given day. We don't actually know what his work schedule would be like. It's just like focus on positive dead. But anyway, Lucky, why don't you explain the Island Sanctuary to the audience for a little bit while I go grab my water?
So the Island Sanctuary, the story is basically, after saving the world for God knows how many times, your fucking little money gremlin Totaro is just like, you know what you fucking need? Everyone knows who the fuck you are. How about you just go to a fucking place where there's nobody and no one can fucking bother you? And you're all like, that sounds fucking amazing. And you head out, because apparently the limits of government, you know, Scary Mommy, Admiral Bolili, I can't actually pronounce this, has a bunch of uninhabited islands that she's been trying to offload because they're doing absolutely nothing. And Tataro's like, hey, if you just give us one of the islands, we'll take care of building everything. And the Admiral's just like, done. And we're all like, sweet. So basically, you fly out to this island, and, well, not fly out, you sail. You sail out to this...
free real estate.
You literally sail out to this island. And basically, through some more business shenanigans, Tataru has basically conscripted a huge amount of mammoths to actually handle construction for you. The only thing you really got to worry about is gathering all the materials, all of which can be found on the island. And they have a little nice little economy thing here, because you can build workshops that can build items that, you know, are made from the island materials and been then sold for island currency. Like, this instance is completely separate from the game. Like, you can buy some things like materia, some mounts, and some, like, glamour stuff that you can interact with, but, like, other than that, like, there is no, like, well, I guess materia is kind of a thing, but it's all gathering and, crafting materia, so it has no play on the combat section of the game.
It's just a fun thing you can do that is relatively self-sustaining, but does have some cosmetic payout in the form of glams and mounts.
Yes. And they harken to just, you know, that slow life thing of, you know, you're going to go out, you're going to go collect, like, 20 island copper ores so you can go upgrade a thing, and so you can do it better. And, like, I'm all about that. I am a kid who grew up on fucking Harvest Moon on the, like, on the Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I picked up, like, Harvest Moon's, like, actually, no, that's a lie. I never picked up Harvest Moon 64. I think that's, like, the only gap I skipped, I think. Now I think about it. But, you know, Harvest Moon, Rune Factory, Story of Seasons. I'm super excited about Harvestella coming. I think that's what actually, like, graduated me into, like survival horror, especially ones that have, like, base building and stuff. And I mean, you know me, if you give me any sort of tabletop characters, I'm gonna be like, I want to build a base. It's just somewhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
No, yeah, I understand.
So...
I'm not really sure myself. I mean, it could be from the Pokemon generation that had secret bases. That was a thing.
Yeah, I never did that.
Ruby Sapphire was the secret base.
Yeah, I never did that.
You could go to the underground and collect items, but, like, it's not specifically Harvest Moon, though. My neighborhood friend with a GameCube did have a Harvest Moon game. We had to look up many things on GameFAQs back in the day. But, like, there's definitely something in me as well that's just, like, actually, no, I know what it is. I should, you know, it's probably because I haven't played this series in years, but I'm an OG Sims guy, actually.
Ah.
I bought all the expansions for the original The Sims. So yeah, no, that's probably where it comes from. Is just because that was the part that I always liked the most. Like, okay, simulating your life, whatever. Building me a cool, weird house with weird furniture that is themed, and I don't give a shit how expensive it is. That's me. Like, I would always use the cheat code for more money because I wasn't really interested in the Sims job grind. I was interested in what kind of weird houses can I build today, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably where that goes back for me. So yeah, no, I understand, and I try to not necessarily encourage, but I like base building as well. So interacting with that stuff happens a lot. But yeah, the Island Sanctuary is interesting to me because, as some of you may know, I just threw the power of the YouTube algorithm, which is very skewed these days. It's weird. It's not YouTube's current algorithm, at least for recommendation, is not really good at balancing my watches. It's just like, oh, you watched one video from this YouTube channel. Here's 5 more videos. Oh shit, you're already subscribed to that guy and you've watched all his videos? Fuck you, watch them again. Like, it's just a weird skew currently. But because I did watch some, rando 14 reactions and memes and stuff, and I caught onto some other stuff because I mentioned this before, but some of you may know him, Internet Angry Man Asmongold switched from WoW to I don't think mostly 14. I think he's exploring a lot of different MMOs right now, but that's because I assume because he blitzed through 14 and caught up on all this shit. So there's not a hell of a lot to do in 14 if you're like a hardcore MMO player. Yeah, actually, the new raids, there's the new raid gear, but the new extreme raids, the highest level shit won't be
No,
next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's definitely a little bit of a gap there, but him doing this transition process, I think earlier this year to try out 14 and like go through all the content, and I think I'm pretty sure he had a good time. And see lots of other people doing this great WoW exodus, right? It's really interesting how there's a wonderful series of posts on a subreddit called Hobby Drama. I have mentioned it before. It's a interesting place where you can find lots of little weird history stuff. Somebody wrote a fucking novel or textbook's length history of WoW up to their previously most current expansion, Shadowlands, one of the ones that made everybody quit, besides also the stuff that happened at Blizzard Activision.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I have read that very extensively. You should go check it out if you want a nice long read. But both that post, which is very well researched, and former WoW players talking, I've kind of cottoned on that, especially in modern times, basically the way Blizzard handles new subsystems for WoW is it is very anti-casual, anti-RP. It is all about getting newer, better gear and forcing you to have the best gear so you can go on the biggest dick raids, so you can raid for more gear and for like really, really rare mount drops or whatever for the big flex. And everything has to in some way be about mechanically improving your character so you can be bigger and better. Never mind that we could mechanically improve your character by rebalancing our game or anything like that. Whereas a lot of the stuff 14 seems to do is just, oh, our players will find this fun and entertaining. They will log in and continue their subscriptions so they can have fun, not so they can be the biggest, sweatiest nerd, you know? And it's a really interesting design philosophy for why I think like 14 has really solidified itself. And I think a lot of that just comes down to the concept of a Realm Reborn, right? Like, obviously 1.0 of 14, as by all accounts, it sucked. Like, it was not balanced. It was missing a lot of features you would expect from MMOs of this type. The story was probably there because, you know, there's harken backs obviously that happen in a Realm.
Oh yeah,
Reborn
no,
feature patches,
like,
but I don't think it was delivered necessarily in the best way back in the day. From what I understand from players. And it's hard to know this without talking to a 1.0 player because the game was bad and all of that stuff is basically wiped clean. You cannot access the 1.0 content right now, I'm pretty sure.
No.
So what they did was, in MMO terms, was fucking phenomenal. Like, Square Enix was like, shit, we don't know what to do. We've completely flopped this. Like, we're not competitive in the Western market. What do we do? And the reason, by the way, why they had this problem was they did the number one thing you cannot do as a game developer. They didn't pay attention to their competition. This is also what killed BioWare's Anthem, I'm pretty sure. If you are making a game in a genre or space or style of gameplay wholeheartedly steal everything that's not copyrighted from other games. Like, unless they are doing something bad and you think you can do it better, like, if there is an industry standard of gaming, you should probably be copying them because that's what people will expect, or they have discovered this system because it works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the way you make a better game is you look at what other people are doing and you're like, what is a system about this game that's popular that people don't like? Can we improve it? Can we improve what they do like? Can we do something different with our creativity design, like our models, our atmosphere, our music, whatever? So for 14 the original version of 14, 1.0, Square Enix didn't do that. WoW is not very big. I don't even know if you can buy it in Japan back in the day. It's just not popular. They weren't paying attention to it or anything. So their game was going to flop. So in enters our boy, the man, the myth, the legend, Yoshi P, who, according to like interviews and reports, he was a Western gamer. Probably still is. Like, he played Western games. He played shit like Ultima, like WoW. He would scout, or Akihabara, according to these, news stories and interviews, for Western game releases, right? Mm-hmm. So he knows what other people are doing, and basically he gives Square Enix a plan. He gives them two choices, the red pill and the blue pill. We can either patch our game forever, and it might eventually be good, but probably never. Or you can basically split the dev team, give me a team. In a year, I will turn around and make a 2.0. We will completely overhaul the game, and we will start from scratch, basically. And Square Enix went for the start from scratch plan, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is probably a source of like a lot of 14's transparency, openness, approachability. Because obviously the game had to stay alive until A Realm Reborn. So part of the way they did this was, because they still did minor patches, was they let people know what was going on, mm-hmm. right? Like, they were transparent about what was coming in patches. They were, I assume, transparent about the eventual 2.0 reboot. And obviously went so far as to telegraph it in-game.
Yeah. I still think that's like one of the greatest, marketing decisions like ever in MMO history. Literally, if you guys don't know, basically the 1.0 storyline involves the Garlean invasion of Azoria, and basically one particular legate named Darnus. Wasn't she a legate? I can't remember. Who basically got really obsessed with the moon. Moon!
I didn't even know that. I've managed to dodge, I think, anything that I could understand as a spoiler in context to 14. I still know that the moon is the thing.
Yeah.
Is the things about the moon.
And basically, the closer they got to the actual release of 2.0, the bigger and brighter the fucking moon got.
Mm-hmm. Bigger and redder in the sky.
Yeah.
And then on the climax day, they basically dropped what is now the opening trailer for A Realm Reborn, where a very big scary dragon comes and blows up 1.0. So yeah, no, and that's the thing, right? Like, they called their shot, they knew they were doing it, they let everybody know, and they turned it into an event, and then they did the revamp. And while A Realm Reborn is not perfect, I've heard a lot of I know Axe has been trying to speedrun to catch up to you guys since he re-upped his sub, and he keeps warning me, oh, you'll have to do so much grind. First of all, I've got my Master Duel story to tell later, but I think we should probably talk about Saints Row for God knows how long. It'll be a while.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's been out for almost a week, and we've been playing it a lot, and we have stuff. Unlike Monday, when we were mostly yelling at people reviewing it, we have actually played the game and can give you our review if you choose to listen to us. Or you can try it for yourself anyway. But at the same time, like I said, there's a lot of WoW refugees in 14 these days, and a lot of them are like, oh, you call this a grind? Because even while it may be grindy to like non-MMO players, to a lot of like WoW veterans, what I understand is a lot of old school WoW stuff, very grindy, very stupidly grindy. There's like 30-second crowd controls and stuns on you. The drop rates for like the classic, you need to, like A Realm Reborn has the MMO stuff, like as far as I understand anyway. You need to go farm 5 drops from this enemy for me. Come back to me.
Yeah, but
okay, cool. Very typical. WoW is like, I need you to farm 100 of these drops. Yeah. I need you to farm 100 bear toes. And somehow, not every bear has 10 toes. How does that work? Don't fucking at me. Like, that the old school WoW, at least according to, like I said, people who played it, is that bad. So I'm like, I don't actually know if A Realm Reborn will be that bad, if you know what you're doing.
again, and like I said, like I'm like I keep saying, like I keep mentioning this, but like I will be there to support you and help you get through some things in case. That's
Yeah, no, that's the other reason why I'm like very excited to play is because I think part of the reason why I've never been big on MMOs, not just because a lot of when I was growing up, a lot of the MMO design was the collect 100 bear toes, God knows how many bears you need to kill model. But also because I've never really had friends who were involved. Like I've never really had a community to draw on. Like obviously, you know, there is the crow's nest, there is the whole squad there, and plenty more people who are not currently in Lucky's free company, but are involved in 14 to like talk about it and stuff. Let alone, again, I'm not expecting a lot of people to like be like, "Ooh, I'll get into 14 because Omega's playing," but like I will be streaming my journey, so we will possibly get some response from the community on that. God knows, right?
right.
You know, that's a little more involved, which is not how I usually play these games. So that's kind of like, especially with the story emphasis and like everybody just says it's fun, you know. I think I can do it, and if worst comes to worst, I can do it on stream with you, the community, and with Lucky and the rest of the guys in the squad, you know. And I've said this before, like I'm kind of not really scared, but I am kind of worried that like I will still, because I have not really been into MMO style gameplay too much, that I will still be like I will get caught up on something and like that'll kill it for me. But I'm hopeful I won't, because I'm hoping that the story stuff will, you know, keep me involved and keep me going through. Cause like I've talked about this before. I've played some MMOs. I played a shitload of old school RuneScape, you know, when I didn't know any better. Because when you're 10, you can kill time very easily just bumming around trying to level your woodcutting skill or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And I have leveled through the starting areas of several characters on the Old Republic. The problem being that I quit the Old Republic almost every time because it got very MMO-y when you get out of the starting area. It's like, okay, you know all that cool BioWare story? Anyway, here's all the MMO shit you can do. You want to do Starfighters? Find 5 friends. You want to do this thing or that thing? You know, do MMO stuff. And I'm just like, oh my god, you're killing me, Smalls. And I do not think 14 will be that way. The only other game that we can argue is an MMO that I have been really, really into was Destiny. I have played a fuck ton of Destiny and a decent amount of Destiny 2. I mostly did that alone, though occasionally with other people. One, because for literally everything but raids, Destiny has matchmaking. I honestly think they probably could have made some of the raids matchmaking as well, but whatever. That's fine. I will just never experience that content in the original Destiny. Thanks, Bungie. It still seems cool. But, like, the fact that it was a Bungie-made FPS, that was really fine to me. I didn't care that the original launch of Destiny had a rushed and nonsensical story, because to use something that may be relevant later, the gameplay was so polished, it was so tight. The gameplay loop was really good. So I didn't give a shit, you know. Warlock Master Race, I played the Warlock subclass that brings itself back from the dead constantly. Very helpful in strikes and stuff. And I eventually, when they did the Game of the Year edition for the next-gen upgrade, I played all the expansion packs as well. Because Destiny 2 is free, I played all of the base game in Destiny 2 whenever they made that free. I think we played a little together, Lucky?
Very little.
Yeah, only a little, but we were able to occasionally play together on that. And I was slightly worried for reasons, but luckily it turned out to be more complex than just download game. Destiny 2 is currently having a free week on everything up to their current expansion. It might just be called the Witch Queen, but I think it's some other thing. Which apparently is really, really good, and people are very, very hype about it, because they just announced their next expansion pack early next year, Lightfall. Which the trailer did look kind of sick. We'll talk about Gamescom a little bit at some point, but it looks like they're introducing new subclasses again, only you have Hive or Darkness Element powers.
Sick.
That's neat. You know, you got some green glowing shit. Okay, cool.
Who doesn't love green glowing shit?
You know, hey, I loved it when they added all the new Arc subclasses to the base Destiny, right? Like, I think there was some cryo stuff in 2 as well that I missed. But like they have fun. They play around with stuff. So they are having a free week, but it's only that you can only access the content for the week, and then you're locked out again. And it's not just like you queue up your currently free download of the X pack. So I'm just like, I'm gonna skip it. That's too complex.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time to get into Destiny 2. I'm gonna try and get into Final Fantasy 14 this upcoming week. But like, so there are MMO styled games that I have enjoyed. So we'll see. I'm hopeful that this will be a pleasant and enjoyable experience, and the fact that my controller is still a little weird will not come to bite me in the ass. And yes, I will be playing with controller to start. If it's a real problem, I'll get a separate mouse and keyboard because the PS5 is crazy, y'all.
Yeah, no, you can swap between. I do know people who have played controller and they don't seem to have a problem with it, but
yeah. And I've talked about this. I've always been more comfortable on controllers just because I got my start when I was like 4 or 5 on a Super Nintendo. So just like the controller seems very native to me. And like I said, because the PS5 is crazy, I can just buy a cheap new keyboard and mouse and I could play keyboard and mouse on my PS5. Which is crazy if you think about it, right? Like, I think in previous console generations,
hello, Varen.
You could, yes, hello, Varen. You could use keyboards to do like interfaces and searches and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, you can straight up just plug in your keyboard and mouse and play games that way on the PS5. Like I said, I like the feel of controllers, and the DualShock 5 is so good with those dynamic triggers and everything. And that's one of the things they announced at Gamescom. What do we call it?
The what?
DualShock 5 Edge?
I don't know.
Let me hold on. I got a list of all the announcements up, so let me see if I can find it. DualSense Edge, yeah. I mean, everybody's going to call it the PlayStation Elite controller because that was Microsoft's version that came out first, which is like all the crazy customizable shit. Like you can custom set your trigger like tension and your analog stick height and all that stuff. But that's going to be expensive.
It is. I do think I need one. Well, it's just good to have multiple controllers nowadays.
Because like I probably need a new controller because my current one is still having the left stick dead zone problem, and I think that is actually what's up. Is that if more games on the PS5 let me customize the dead zone more, I can probably set it just fine, but I can't. So it's still a little weird sometimes. I don't think that'll bite me in the ass on 14 specifically until I get to like later game raids and stuff where me accidentally taking a step forward might be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But by then, hopefully, the series will be successful, and I'll be making lots of money and can buy a new controller no problem. Because they're like, even for a regular controller, it's like $70 or $60. God help me if I want it in a cool color. I think it's like $75 for a DualShock 5 in red. Crazy talk. Renovation complete. Much joy.
Yeah, my island hut is bigger and, well, it's not bigger, but it is better. Yay!
But yeah, so we'll see. So we're excited for that. But should we talk some Saints Row?
Yeah, we can talk some Saints Row. This has a little backpack on it! I love it.
Like you said, there's glams. Oh, also they made more glamour slots.
Yes.
They doubled your chest size, I think?
Yes, we went from 400 to 800, and everyone's just like, yas! Ooh.
Well, I think it's partially because one of the ways 14 is kind of different from some MMOs is the only reason why you would need an alt is if you wanted to have a different race for free, basically. Yeah. Because you can and probably will, at least in every role, play all the jobs. Yeah. Like you can be any job you want. You can switch between them, and you can advance their individual storylines and stuff. So there's no weird thing where, again, this is something I learned about WoW. There are some storylines where you get like actual pressing plot information in an X-Pack only in one class's storyline, and you can't freely reclass in WoW. Mm-hmm. Usually you make an alt. So players just can't access some of the story that might be relevant. Whereas, in 14, if there's something important going on in, like, say, the Dragoon or the Dark Knight story, if you've got your X-Packs downloaded, you can just switch.
Yep.
And figure it out. So, but that also means that, like, glamours and looks that are exclusive to certain jobs, you have to store them in your closet in case you switch, because you can't wear that gear.
Yeah.
So the expansion is important. Actually, the talking about WoW stuff did remind me of one thing that I learned. I think it was either last week or a couple weeks ago, and I just haven't brought it up yet. I know, Lucky, you are a fan of the Keck.
Yes.
Do you in the audience know where Keck comes from?
Actually, no, I don't. I was just.
Fact, is my understanding this is a WoW thing.
Really?
So, yeah, I'm gonna guess you probably don't know this, Lucky, and some people in the audience might not. But so, until I think very recently, obviously most of you will probably know WoW has factions, World of Warcraft. You can be Horde or Alliance, and until very recently, there was no cross-faction play. If you were Horde, you went to Horde zones, and if you went to Alliance zones, even if you weren't necessarily in a PvP server, you could still get shanked. And like you only had access to Horde races, and some classes were limited by race and by faction and stuff. I think like literally until the first expansion pack, there were some classes you just couldn't play in like one of the factions or whatever. Also, this extends to global chat. Players can't talk to each other if they're in a different faction. If you attempt to say something to a player who is in the opposite faction, your text would be translated to gibberish. And I believe, and somebody in chat can double check me and correct me along, but I believe Keck is what LOL translates to if you are, I think it was Horde speaking to Alliance, but it might be the other way around.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it is just, Keck is just, as far as, like I said, as far as I know, it is a transliteration of LOL through the comms filter in WoW that just caught on because it's, you know, still three letters long and it's funny.
Well, yeah, no, like, that's what I always assumed it was, but I thought it was just someone being fucking cheeky about LOL and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I think it was, no, it's just if you typed in LOL as one of the factions, it would be translated to the others as Keck. So obviously when you're laughing at your enemies, you would just be going Keck. Yeah.
Huh.
So funny story. But all right, 45 minutes in, Saints Row. So some of you, if you've been on the internet, may understand, especially if you watched our Monday stream, may understand that Saints Row is not reviewing super well, the new one. Let me see what the Metacritic is right now.
I bet it's like in the 60s. Oh, I need more limestone. Shit.
Saints Row on PS5, Metacritic, 63.
Hey.
3.0 on the user score? What the? Well, it's probably there are a lot of assholes on the internet who don't like this game. That said, there are plenty of, like, this is an average. Like, there's people who are like 0, 0, 1. Wow, the people though who are here are just like. Sorry, one of the 0 reviews is developers should be ashamed to release a game and have the nerve to charge full price. They didn't charge you full price. Full price is $70, doofus, not 60.
Yeah.
But then there's just maybe not just as many, but there are a lot of low scores. But there's also like Gaming Nexus apparently gave it a 95. GameBite was an 80. IGN Italy. Is Itala Italy? Yeah, no, it's Italy. Italian IGN 75. So, like, there's a decent chunk of reviews. Like,
I don't know if I put this game on
critic
95.
reviews, there are 18 positive, 33 mixed, 6 negative. So, overall, above average.
I'm about to say, yeah, no, mixed should be about right, in my honest opinion.
No. Let's be honest to ourselves. Lucky and I have both put a decent amount of time in the game. I think I'm at 35% right now.
I'm at like 40.
Yeah. And obviously, I think that's main story progression. That's not tracking us doing all the side bullshit, because you can easily get suckered into doing like right now, for instance, because I guess spoilers, but not really spoilers. I don't know how you fucking spoil this game, but I recently did the main job quest, the main mission, where I took over the Wanted app.
Yeah.
In a hostile takeover, a corporate buyout. So I was just like, oh yeah, Wanted missions. I should burn through some more of those. So I'm trying to take those out. You know, because extra money. Money. Need a lot of money in this game.
You do. I literally have the game going on my PS5 so I can just get money.
Farm free money shit.
Yeah.
Do that. I should fucking, yeah, because you generate money per hour again. So, Saints Row reviewed, I'm not even going to say poorly. Some people try to say poorly or bad. Very mid. Like I just said, I literally walked you through the reviews on Metacritic, critical reviews. It is a very mid game, and I think after playing it for several hours and, you know, putting that time in, that is fair. Because the game does have issues. I don't even know if I would say problems, I guess I could say problems. It's some
There's
some of the cases where
there's a few problems
yes.
like in optimization and whatnot.
Yeah, and occasionally I have had issues where not permanent thing, like, but I have situations where controls have frozen up.
Yeah,
Um,
like it.
Very fun to have that happen in the middle of a mission where I'm locked out of every control except my right stick kick. I had to kick 3 SWAT dudes to death. Thankfully, after I completed the mission and it reloaded, I got my controls back. Also, by the way, that's there are also some design issues. Why the fuck can enemies dodge my kick? My desperation kick? What the fuck? Like, they can dodge it like 3 times in a row by just ducking? What the fuck, game?
Yeah, no. When I'm trying to go, oh no, Omega, you need to do the fucking hidden histories. I can't remember which one it is, but it's the one where you complete 3. You get a fucking dual wielding punch guns, and they just fire. There's like, it's so fucking amazing.
Okay, I'll do some more. I try to do a lot of opportunities and side content as I run into them.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of shit in these games. Like, some people being like, oh, it's soulless. Oh, there's nothing there. Hey, I mean, I haven't been able to do them yet. I think I'm not far enough in the main missions. But I bought a shady clinic so I can do insurance fraud jobs.
Yep.
I assume they're the same way because you literally talk to the insurance fraud and she's just like, yeah, so I've got an automated algorithm that makes these myself. And I'm like, what if I just threw myself into traffic? What? No, you'll die. Don't know about that.
You do it your
you do
way.
It your way, I'll do it my way.
I can't believe. I can't. I refuse.
The actual opportunity hasn't showed up on my map, but I'm pretty sure I can do it.
Yeah, but no. I honestly don't understand what people understand when I say this game is soulless. This game has had me dying like constantly.
Yeah, So let's talk about the pros for us first. I think there are some negatives, but you've been hearing a lot of negatives. You can probably find those complaints if you look from online. The positives. The game is still very fun. Like, what's the way to say it? So, I can probably understand why some people might be, oh no, the writing is cringe.
I don't think people understand what cringe is. I think they just try to attribute to anything they might remotely not like.
I mean, there's a certain amount of crowd who's just like, hoo, go woke, go broke. This game isn't that woke. Like, yes, sure, there's very low-key stuff, and if you are the crowd that would unironically say the phrase "go woke" or "go broke," yes, you probably do cringe at the idea where, like, for instance, I talk about in that wanted mission, Kev talks about, oh yeah, I dated both of the male developers of this game at the same time. It was a wild week, anyway.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that sounds like Kev.
Yeah, no, but you know that's
Kev. Doesn't give
Kev.
a fuck about anything. Yeah. No.
Kev refuses to wear shirts. He loves everybody.
The very existence of Kev will make them mauled, but
I love
okay,
Kev.
Fine, mauled. Fuck you, whatever.
Kev's amazing. He has a breakfast food sleeve.
Yes, he has a tattoo sleeve that includes waffles, and you literally start the game like, I made breakfast, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so fucking good. The only way is it'd be better if you put a fucking shirt on. And Kev's like, not happening. Like, I don't know. And like, okay, yeah, Eli is smart and black, but also he talks in like fucking corporate buzzwords all the time. And we have to tell him, knock that off.
He got us into fucking LARPing.
Yeah, no, like there's plenty of stuff here, you know. Are some of the character designs probably like a little simplistic? Yeah, I guess, but I mean, Saints Row has always been like that. Like, yes, there is a vaguely Hispanic gang about cars and lifting. They are called Los Panteros, but also that's what cartels are called, though. They're named in Spanish because they're Spanish. You know, there's only so much you can do there. And the setting is kind of like broad. We talked about this last night when we played co-op a little. Thank God it was a little more stable than the first time we tried to play co-op.
Yeah, we actually had a good time.
We had some problems the first time we played co-op with like buggy interfaces and lack of icons and shit. The second time it was more stable. And we were able to abuse the fuck out of it because the game is not balanced for co-op at all. It's kind of funny. At least they're nice enough to make sure that when you're playing co-op, some of your mission critical stuff is doubled. Like, we did one mission and there were 2 turrets when there would normally be 1.
Mm-hmm.
There were 2 helicopters. Shit like that. But, like, other shit is just very busted. But, like, genuinely, I find a lot of the character dialogue perfectly fine and refreshing. Like, yes, characters cuss a lot. That's fine. I cuss a lot, honestly. I was I grew up in the early 2000s era of the internet where the word, the fact that you could say fuck uncensored on the internet was a power that everybody abused, right?
Lettuce Man, don't be fucking cheeky.
I mean, I don't know if they're the most powerful, but I know all the most famous ones are like Los Zetas and stuff like that because I've had to do research for these kinds of things. Sinaloa, stuff like that. Like, a lot of them are named after place names in Mexico where they're big. And there's there's definitely flexibility there. And again, I don't actually know if those are the biggest, but like I said, the most famous, the ones you read about when I do research for things and stuff. Definitely not Delta Green. Anyway.
And also, you say the most powerful. This is literally a gang in a single fucking city. I refuse to believe that's the most powerful.
Oh, well, yeah, no, they're a street gang, so...
So, I don't know what kind of scale you're trying to bring here, Lettuce Man.
Yeah. But yeah, so, like, dialogue and stuff, Lucky has already said he likes it a lot. Me personally, I'm, it's great. There's plenty of stuff here. And to be real, guys, do you have rose-tinted glasses on for Saints Row? Like, obviously, some people can go, like, I think there is something to be said for this new Saints Row reboot where it's like, wow, this franchise hasn't changed since 4, right?
Really?
Yeah, we're talking about Saints Row. And you are correct. No, the game hasn't really advanced in a state since they last released 4. They did kind of go under after that. I mean, like, I think they reined it back in. 4 doing its weird Matrix Aliens thing is, like, ludicrously over the top.
I don't want to think about Agents
I don't
of
really
Mayhem.
remember. I think Agents of Mayhem is free on PS Plus. I never played it. I think it was an Xbox timed exclusive originally.
It's weird.
Yeah. That one I know didn't work because I think they leaned too much into the crazy powers and the over-the-top abilities, and that's like literally flying in Saints Row 4. Okay, that's fun, but that's not what people are doing it for, right? It's other bullshit. Like, I feel like the Saints Row reboot is much more of a, like, what if we got a sequel that was more tonally consistent with 3 and more power level consistent with 3, right?
Right.
Because 4 was doing stuff because it was basically they scrapped a DLC for 3 that was supposed to be a Matrix. Literally, it was called Enter the Dominatrix because you can access some of the old files and, like, junk stuff in the Saints Row the Third, like, complete edition. Which is free on PS Plus, by the way, along with 4. The remaster of 3 and 4. But, like, so that's why 4 is very weird. And very over the top, and they were just like, fuck it, balls to the wall. You're the president now. President Saints. Punch a nuclear missile to death. And there was lots of, like, current parody. Like, you can go to your weird spaceship Matrix ship thing, and you can romance literally anybody with one button press, and it's just a fade to black. Some of which are very hilarious. Yeah, 4 tries very hard not to be a GTA clone, and it's cool and funny, and I like it, but it's not the same thing, right?
Right.
Like, honestly, I feel like they're parodying more like giant scope games anyway. Like, I mean, they got literal Keith David as your vice president. Like, he is played by Keith David, but he also is Keith David. He's literally your vice president, Keith David. I feel like it's a Mass Effect reference, right?
Right.
Yeah, he just says no thanks. It's very sad. I think he says guys, I think in real life he is married. He says, sorry, I'm a married man. I'm Keith David. I'm the vice president. But, like, I feel like it was a parody almost of, like, Mass Effect and other, like, big scope games there. Like, they did a lot of poking fun at games in general. Saints Row does poke fun. But they definitely do the thing where they poke fun everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a lot more like social poking fun. There are some game poke funs. I haven't found it yet, but Lucky found a joke about microtransactions and loot boxes, right?
Right.
Which is still relevant somehow. And there's lots of other little things. Sorry, excuse me. Drink a lot of water real fast. But there's lots of little things.
Do
like,
I want to build a windmill or a tree fort? Ah.
I mean, I would build a tree fort.
Yeah, but I love windmills.
That's fair. If you like windmills, that's okay. I love tree forts.
Oh, I still don't have enough limestone. I'm dumb.
Oh, He's gotta get more resources.
Yeah.
Build more.
Like, I do like tree forts, but also I like windmills. This is why I'm torn. I'm just like,
Yeah. But, like, I did another one of the ones which is called Wanted Millennial. And you might think, oh no, cringy. Not actually that much, because the target quote-unquote millennial isn't really that targeted. He dies very fast. What it is you get a call from Granny because some motherfucker, literally she's just called Grandma in the dialogue, because some fucker stole her credit card and she's gonna ice him, and she's like, okay, we'll use my car. And like she does all the old lady stuff. She offers you candy like 5 times. I personally do not know why the boss is not just like taking them all. Butterscotch, yes. Chocolate, sure. Frick yes, grandma candy. And like all that stuff. And she makes some, some lots of funny jibes. You take her car, you go through all the stuff. But there's some subversion too. Like at some point she's not like, oh, drive slower. She's like, actually, could you drive faster? And I'm like, not real, out of character. Me, I'm telling my TV screen, not really, Granny, I cannot. We are driving your piece of shit. I arrived in a golden supercar, and you said to drive this thing. Like, okay, sure. And then you literally run around, find the guy. She plugs him in the head with her giant revolver, and is like, "Take that, you dirty millennial!" And then you're like, "Okay, boomer." And then the quest's over. That's it. That's the punchline, right?
Right.
And then we move on.
Yeah, I think that's something I want to say. I don't think they necessarily try to stay on any of their jokes like over long. It's usually just one and done. They say the thing, they move on. They have another joke they want to tell you.
Yeah, and like obviously, purely like Letterman said, the look quirky, the high speed of the dialogue that might still put some people on edge if you're not into that. But it's not quite the same problem as Marvel. I've seen some people do like some analysis of some of Marvel's humor, like. A lot of Marvel movies have a certain script writing style because of which movies were the most popular. So a lot of the other movies try to emulate the style of them, where like we make a joke, we have a response to the joke, and then we have a third joke callback. Like we overextend. Me personally, the way I enjoy humor, that doesn't bother me. If the first line or the first 2 lines were good, the fact that they hold on it a little bit longer, I'm like, okay, you didn't need to do that. Move on, right? Like to me, that doesn't retroactively ruin the joke. I know some people get more upset about that for personal preference reasons. That's okay. Humor is subjective, so I can't really fight you on that one.
It's true.
But me personally, like the way they do this rapid fire dialogue and stuff, it's like, no, it's fine. And like, yes, some of the jokes are really involved, but I personally find them very funny. Lucky, I know you've talked about Up, but I love this segment too, so to set the setting, right, to preview this game for you, some early stuff. Basically, you are one of 4 20-somethings who all live in the same apartment because you're all broke and you all have student debt. That should be very relatable to most people, unless you got your debt forgived recently. Good, if so, good for you.
I don't think they've actually rolled that out yet, but it's
no, they've got a plan. I don't think you can apply yet.
No, I'm like I
but
am watching
also,
that.
by the way, complete diversion. But fucking shout out to the White House Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking taking shots. I wish all politics were like this. My God, holy shit! Just when somebody says something, you fucking call them out on Twitter. Literally ratio them. My God, what year is it?
I don't know.
No, but like that was amazing. Like Republicans are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you would forgive loans from the government," and the White House Twitter is just like, "This representative has had this many hundreds of thousands of dollars in personal loans forgiven." I'm just like, "Damn."
Yeah, no.
Damn. Shit. But yeah, no. So you all live together, and the main emphasis is all of you have done some shady shit in your past. I think, except Eli. But Eli is also like follows self-help podcasts and corporate buzzwords, so he's already sold his soul to Satan. He just doesn't know it yet.
And he's not preachy about it too. He's like, we're gonna go knock over a place, and he's like, do we have to? And we're like, yes. And he's like, okay.
He's like, all right, I don't see any other way out of this. Yeah, no, like he's not like sanctimonious. Like he is your quote unquote token non-criminal, but even like then he's like, you understand what's up with him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like, people follow along. So you guys are all together trying to make ends meet. You start your job. It's your literal first day, your first fucking day. And if people are complaining about that, it's like, how you get blown up like twice. How could you not say it's my first fucking day?
It's my
right?
first
like,
fucking day.
It's like when I complain to people about them picking on Forspoken's dialogue, right?
Right.
Like, if you were just isekai'd to a magical dragon realm filled with horrifying corruption, would you not be like, what the fuck is happening right now? Hold on, did I just double jump? Did I literally double jump? Is that a thing I can do? Like, are you saying you would not be self-aware? Liar. You were cringe. But yeah, no, like Saints Row is the same thing. So you start working for one of the game's factions, Marshall, this multinational private military conglomerate, who are doing all kinds of horrifying shit as well. You go through the whole, long stuff there, all those fun things. So, there's a lot to have there. You go through all that. The dialogue you saw clipped on the internet, of the section where you say fuck a lot. One, that depends on your voice pack. Different bosses say different things. Because Lucky and I both went with the British voice because it is phenomenal.
It is phenomenal. Thank you, Emily O'Brien, for the work you have
yes.
done on this game.
Yeah, some people said there was lazy voice acting. I haven't seen it yet. I think these people are genuinely trying. Like, maybe Kev's voice actor doesn't have a lot of, like, heavy emoting, but that's Kev. He's really laid back.
He really is.
Well, what the fuck do you want from him?
Listen, when he says, I can make a meme macaron, I'm like, no, that's good shit right there.
I'm like, dude, Kev, please make me some macarons. Shit, fuck, I'm hungry. Doing these fucking food truck missions isn't gonna help. It's also not gonna help for other stuff. But yeah, so, but you as I was saying, actually, I remember where my place was. For us, there was a lot of bollocks in that line. But
yeah.
That dialogue line is like they roll credits on the title and stuff as you drive home in your piece of shit car because you were just denied your bonus by your boss being way too uptight.
Mm-hmm.
So of course you would be pissed off
because you
might not say all that stuff out loud, but you would be thinking some of those words, right? Like
you'd be saying a lot of fuck. Don't you lie to me.
Yeah, no, it's a context thing. Like, if you just went through all that shit, you got blown up like twice, you hijacked a VTOL, you got shot a lot by turrets, you had to punch a lot of dudes, and then your boss is like, you're a maverick. You don't get your bonus. Fuck you. No hazard pay.
And you have to pay rent and your loans?
Yeah, and you have rent and loans. You got to go back to your apartment where you are splitting it, by the way, with 4 people. And admittedly, it's a nice apartment. I understand why they need to split rent 4 ways, but still, like, and you have to be like, yeah, guys, sorry, I can't chip in for rent. I was screwing out of my fucking paycheck. Sorry, and they're all like, no, we understand, fam. Right? Like, you would be a little pissed off. It builds the mood. And like, yes, does the player character have some flaws? Yeah, no, you're a fucking murder machine, right?
Literally.
Like,
they call this out many times.
Yes. But that's the kind of, like, player character self-awareness that you do, because in these games, yeah, you do kill a lot of people, Like, the game doesn't really try to, like, harp on that and be like, you're a terrible person for shooting all these dudes in the street. It's just like, yeah, no, you kill a lot of people, and you don't really feel anything about it. Like,
yeah, actually,
honestly, like, I would have more problems with the game if they tried to call you out for killing so many dudes, right?
Right.
Because you make me kill that many dudes, game.
I think it was actually, like, well put, like, when you do the Boot Hill segment, after you beat it, your friends are just watching the foot, and they're just like, Jesus fucking Christ, that's what Made for Murder meat looks like.
Yeah. Shit. You weren't joking. You are a murder machine. Holy crap. Okay, anyway, moving on. Let's never speak of this again.
I love the beginning of that. You had me at Murder Circus.
Yes, no. Like, yeah, you're basically a bloodthirsty psychopath, but you're not an immoral bloodthirsty psychopath. You're like, the core thing is you have a crew and you all stand up for each other, right?
Yes.
Like, this is emphasized very early with all your characters, and all of them are from different groups, so, like, and they have to break. Like, your fiery Latina roommate, Nima, is part of Los Panteros. She is a driver. She's a really good driver, but when their new boss, Sergio, tries to murder you and fuck you out of some stuff and cause problems, she decides to split rather than let you get murdered, and that leads to a whole system of betrayal where we blow a lot of stuff up. Kev is not part of the Idols, but the Idols are kind of this weird Occupy Wall Street anarcho-communist collective thing, but they're just assholes. They're just assholes. They're criminals, too. Like, they try to have a message, but their message is just, are you an idol? No? Fuck you. I'm going to hit you with a neon bat.
Yeah, I think their message was like, There's idols and there's tools. So
Yeah, basically, if you are not an idol, you are a tool of the machine. So they fuck your shit up. And also their leaders are huge assholes for no reason. Like literally when like you bust into their party, and like rescue Eli, who's been plugged because he's not good with a gun until you teach him. Slightly shittily because the aiming is not great. I did not do very well in that quest. But like one of the idol like leaders comes out and is like, "All right, Kev, if they're your friends, you can kill them." Even though Nima is just straight up like, "Yeah, I'm not with Los Panteras anymore, and you're not with anybody because you eventually get fired." Oh no. And that's what causes you to found the Saints, is because all of you get cut off from your respective like support network and are like, "Fuck, what are we gonna do to make rent? How are we gonna get paid? What are we gonna do?" Well, we have connections and side hustles and dark businesses. We'll do our own fucking thing, right?
Right.
Classic story.
Yeah, like, this isn't a story about being the good guys.
No, the tagline you constantly see is, and they use this as their emphasis for, like, the character creator demo. The character creator, by the way, which is fantastic and very in-depth. Be your own boss, right?
Right.
Like, the goal of this is basically self-empowerment, self-employment, figuring shit out for yourself and what you're doing, and moving on from there. And you know there's an in media res, like you end up buried in a shallow grave because that's the literal opening cutscene. So, you know, like, you know it will go poorly in some level at some point, but after you get some success, because you're wearing a suit when you start out.
And your HQ's actually been fixed. I've been pushing just trying to get that thing to not look like a piece of shit mostly right now.
Yeah, I have completed a quest that started the HQ renovation, but we have not finished it yet. There's a lot of construction equipment outside my 3rd Street church. But what I was going to say was, after you get fired, there is a great, like, arguable minigame. There is a point of deliberate interaction where you're just in bed and you just push buttons to get out of bed, and you just don't because you've been fucking fired and you feel like shit. You know? Who hasn't had a bad turn in their life and just been like, fuck, I don't want to get out of bed. Not even for waffles. Fuck it. And then you find one singular waffle and you try to toast it and it doesn't work because your toaster is a piece of shit.
Toast your lonely waffle.
Yeah. Toast your only waffle, and it doesn't work because your toaster's a piece of shit, and you get mad, and, like, whatever. You go lounge on the couch, and you buy a shitload of knives on the Home Shopping Network. Nima's like, how many knives did you buy? Not enough. You know, like, and that, a lot of people are like, soulless, cringe. I'm like, no, I love that. It's very genuine, and, like, obviously the knife bit is, like, silly. It's an exaggeration. But that's very understandable. How many times have you had a bad day where something has come out with you and, like, you've wanted to stay in bed, or you've tried to, as people say, eat their feelings, or, you know, you binge shop because you're like, fuck, I don't feel good. I'm going to buy something that brings me joy. That might not be knives, but you've done it before, right, people? Like,
oh, yeah.
I almost feel like a lot of complaints about this game are by people who don't want to be self-aware. Like, they don't want to admit to themselves that, like, yeah, I've done that. I've been there. You know? I don't know. And like I said, we talked earlier, yeah, the jokes are very rapid fire. They will move from joke to joke to bit to bit. If that's not your style, it might get, like, tiresome. But genuinely, it seems okay. And, like, the plotline is just the usual, like, you know, found new businesses, find new crimes, do new dumb stuff. It's still as ludicrous as ever. You fucking start a toxic waste business and have to collect, you know, radioactive barrels.
I just fucking
explode.
I just finished that, thank God.
Yeah. Honestly, if you can actually drive slowly and not start the chain reactions.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. It's just sometimes you have to jog a long way. And I've learned, actually clip this out. If one person gets fucking spooked on the road, it just causes this scary ass chain reaction. I'll have to link it to.
It's weird. They're not very good. No. Like, sometimes they will ignore you completely. You can be fucking barreling down the road at 90 miles an hour, and somebody will turn into you. And, like, hell, it doesn't even have to be 90 miles an hour. You can be driving a big truck full of radioactive waste down the road, and they will be like, green light, I'm going. I have right of way. And then they get fucking T-boned. They get obliterated. Similarly, if you start some crashes or freak some guys out, then all the AIs freak out because it breaks the, like, perfect script of the traffic system.
No, like, I'll probably have to link it to you later, but I I literally tap someone, they freak out, and just for like the solid minute in front of me, you, like as me driving nice, slow, and calmly, you just see cars like just revving everywhere, going up and over the bridge. Several cars just blow up, and I'm just all like, oh. It's like it's a little fucking nuts. I'm just like, it's a bit much, y'all.
The AI basically is we don't give a fuck or
pretty much.
There's no real in between state, which is a shame. But yeah, so like writing wise, I think the game is solid. I can understand how some people don't, but I like it a lot. Like, you know, the villains are assholes, and yes, they're shallow, but who gives a fuck? It's Saints Row.
It's the villains, like. You're like, here's the thing I don't understand. Are you playing Saints Row for a, you know, a deep moral and like, you know, ethical deep dive on like, you know, human personality? No, you're not. Like,
no, you should be picking up this game because you want a, you know, wacky open world crime simulator kind of game.
Yeah.
Right? Like you wanna possibly, I don't know, be gay, do crimes or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. So. You should not be expecting depth. There wasn't really any depth from previous ones. Like a lot of people will think about like Saints Row, you know, 2 or 3, and no.
I am wondering if we're gonna get a Johnny Gat though.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm wondering right now. I missed my Johnny.
Yeah, I will say the roles are nice, but your crew is kind of normalish. They have their defined roles and they don't really go out of them, and they seem okay, but you don't really have like a cool guy friend.
The Nawali is alright, but he seems like a guy out of his depth. It's like, how do I interact with these kids?
Yeah, he's kind of your token cool old guy with too many knives. And he and the boss would be like, you can never have too many knives. But yeah, so like, and you know, again, I would like to remind everybody, if you're like, oh, but blah 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 GTA, there hasn't been a new GTA in like 5 years. Also, by the way, the GTA remastered trilogy sucked. It was awful when it launched. It was a incredibly shitty port that was very mishandled. In case you guys forgot about that, and that had to be taken off systems and be refunded. That's how fucking broken it was. Saints Row isn't that bad. Like, I know a lot of people have been making Cyberpunk blah 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 comparisons. Listen, I love Cyberpunk 2077 to death, and Saints Row is buggy as hell. It's still more stable. I mean, I've yet to crash the desktop on, or crash the home screen, I guess, technically on a console, but you know what I mean.
Hey, crystals, what is this?
I have yet to have a full-blown crash of the game playing Saints Row. I've had to exit my game and reload because it has bugged out my controls or my skin or something, but it's a relatively soft reset compared to game has crashed. Would you like to report problem? So, I guess we can talk about, like, obviously, like I said, I think the writing is good and the voice acting is good. The parts of the graphics are really stunning. Like, the textures and lighting effects and stuff, that is very next-gen, right?
Right.
Like, Lucky and I, we spent a lot of time cruising in helicopters because it's OP, but just watching the dynamic lighting effect, like the interplay of, like, sunset or sunrise, the water reflections, the moonlight levels, and like the change of lighting. Your fucking helicopter starts its running lights at night, right? Like, there's a lot of little visual detail, and there's a lot of visual like Easter eggs. Like, we found a signpost on top of a rock in the middle of nowhere. It's not a thing. It's not like a collectible or an achievement. It's just there. Why? Because we decided to hide something up there, you know?
Yeah.
So there's lots of that. The animations are... Genuinely, I don't know if some of these animations have changed since Saints Row 4.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I called this out, too, and the way that they rig their modeling clothes is a little fucking weird and a little last gen.
Yeah.
Like
parts of the clothing just sticks to your body. They don't free float. There's not a lot of extra fabric sim, you know. The games are not really optimized for next-gen consoles. You can turn on the dynamic triggers, but I have that option turned on, I think, anyway. The game does sometimes forget I have changed options when I leave them in the menu. It's a little weird. But I haven't noticed a difference. It's not the same way as, like, playing a proper next-gen game, right?
Right.
And the animations are very simplistic, you know. and I don't think it makes use of the PS5 SSD. There are still loading screens and load times in this game. Like, and I assume that's just it's not optimized to be used that way, right?
Right.
Because like the graphics are very good.
Like, and you see this problem like in story scenes. Like in the opening story scene, they did this really weird thing of they would show a cutscene, then you do a small gameplay segment where you're like dangled for something or to shoot something, and then you'd have to have another cutscene. Like, and it wasn't like an in-game cutscene; it was like actual cutscene. So it was doing this really weird, choppy back and forth segment. I was all like, "We're in the era of the Lord and Savior PS5. This should have been able to do like some more seamless transition stuff here."
Yeah, but no, we didn't.
Yeah.
And like we said, the AI not very powerful. They're kind of weird. Like they're not ineffective, but there's definitely some shortcuts. Pursuit mission, like vehicle stuff. Vehicular combat, unfortunately, is not very good.
No, it chased me, but I have to turn down fucking vehicle combat as well because I was trying to do one of the I can't remember what they're called, but where you basically have to shoot a bunch of cars coming at you and stuff. And I could not do it. I would last like 30 seconds before like the 8 fucking idle cars would just swarm and destroy me. And I'm just like, well then.
Yeah, no. You have very limited options. You can only use certain guns while you're actually driving. And some of them are pretty powerful, but still, like it's very weirdly balanced. You can sideswipe, but it's not very effective because all of the cars that chase you are super persistent. They have rubber banding, so you can't outrun them if you're in a mission that requires you to be chased.
Mm-hmm.
And they will also just spawn in front of you and possibly crash into you head on because they're crazy. So like, yeah, it's a little weird. It's not very good in that sense. Like it's not necessarily once you turn down the difficulty so that enemies like damage you less and stuff, or maybe less of them spawn on you, whatever actually that is. And that's another thing, by the way, it's very modern. It has that whole thing where you can set custom difficulty sliders. Like you can choose to give yourself more time on objectives, more or less ammo drops, etc., etc. Adjust vehicular combat, whatever. So there's a few things there. You can adjust enemy durability versus like your durability and stuff. So that's cool. I like that flexibility. I like dynamic difficulty because you can pick the things that annoy you and make it harder for you, and then work on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
For whatever fits your game, floats your boat. And gunplay is a little weird. You will hear the phrase unpolished a lot, and it's kind of a nonsense buzzword, but also it's one of the, like, when you're playing the game, it is a word that jumps to mind. And actually explaining to somebody who's just watching you play how it feels kind of loose, kind of unpolished is hard.
Mm.
And that's honestly why I was like, when I saw a lot of reviewers saying this, I was like, I'll be the judge of that. And then I played it, and I'm like, yeah, no, there's definitely a certain je ne sais quoi here that's not quite met. I have tried all of the auto aim modes from off to snap to half lock to full lock, and like none of them are perfect. Like, I think part of it is just, God, enemies are so fucking dodgy.
They really are.
You know how many shots I have missed because an enemy has decided to magically sidestep my bullets? A lot of shots. Your aiming when hip firing is dog shit, but you will hip fire a lot just because you're going to be spraying and praying because enemies will just be like, oh no, he's aiming at me. I need to move. I already talked about how they kind of like goes in. I don't think unpolished means lacking confidence in the design. Like, I think it's just they didn't have enough time and money to tighten this up. Like I said, I don't think that people say that when people say unpolished, they mean that. Like, it means that I think that they didn't have the time and money to focus on some of these aspects and do extra QA and like do extra programming time to actually fix some stuff up. Like we said, there's so much extra detail in the models and the locations and all that stuff, and there's beautiful lighting and rendering effects in it. I assume the art design team had the bulk of the workforce and the funding. And a lot of the team doing like some of the extra animation rigging was just use last game's models that we got the assets. The AI team didn't have as many of the people working on it. So the result is the game feels kind of loose in some places. The physics are very weird.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, it's Saints Row. You don't need realistic physics.
I do think that the lack of weird physics is a feature, not a bug.
Yeah,
because
some of it is intentional. You know, you can jump cars and do other weird shit, but it negatively affects some part of play, like the fucking tow missions. That when you have to tow cars, the fact that the thing you're towing will slingshot around you, possibly in front of you, and get caught on every little thing is like, okay, all right.
It's like, why are you like this?
Yeah, but the fact that your car floats up like 30 feet in the air when you run over a fire hydrant, and yes, it's slightly annoying, but I'm fairly certain that's deliberate. It was deliberately designed that way to be funny because it's Saints Row, right?
Right.
And I put a decent amount of time to GTA Online, and I played all through GTA 5 in its original release back on the PS3. That's why I don't play GTA Online anymore, because I missed that transition. But like, I put some time into that. GTA 5 doesn't have perfect vehicle physics either. Their physics are a lot more grounded, but that means that they're
boring.
Clunkier. Yeah, they are very boring, and they're kind of annoying. Like, you'll hit something and do a dead stop, or you'll fucking get flipped on your side, and you won't recover properly. You're stuck there. You're fucked. And whereas in Saints Row, very rarely am I actually like, do I get trapped on my side or my bottom? It's usually when I get wedged in by 5 extra vans. And it's not the physics fault. It's the fault of the game for, like, putting extra objects to pin me in place, right?
Right.
But, like, melee combat seems to flow pretty smoothly.
Except when they dodge 3 fucking times.
Well, yeah, when they dodge a lot, that's annoying, but at the very least, like, you'll keep trying to hit them. It's just they'll cheat and duck under you, right?
Yeah.
Because the hitboxing is also, I think, fairly precise. So if an enemy model physically ducks your swing, they will avoid the swing, right? The general movement, yeah, it's fine. It's not as advanced as Just Cause. I think they probably could have gone a little more zany. You can wingsuit, and that can be very over the top and weird.
I'm not that
sometimes
great at...
I don't feel like I know what I'm doing when I'm wingsuiting, but when I'm just like, all right, dive out, wingsuit, glide to the ground, hold L2 to slow, fine. Oh, I can punch a guy? Oh, I can cling to a car roof? Fine, we'll land safely. Or you just plow into the side of the building and fall down and you don't really take any damage. The game doesn't care, whatever. It can be frustrating, but also it can be funny. And like, if you're just gonna do it to like cruise for a long distance, it's pretty cool, right?
Right.
Like, just sailing over all the buildings, you can go a long way. And like, just sprinting and jumping is fine. You can clamber over a lot of things, so that's good. You can get some decent height. If you are used to like the Saints Row 4 style, like super sprinting and super high jumping, nah, you can't go that far. I think I will say one other thing that's a little frustration, but I kind of understand why they did it, is the game has a lot of progression, some of which doesn't make sense or doesn't... I mean, it's good to progress too, but it's kind of like, you could have given me that feature to start. Like, you don't start with the ability to call your car.
Yeah, that was the killer.
You got to do a whole side quest chain to do it. And admittedly, it's your first venture, your first, side business quest chain. So it's pretty early to start on, but you got to do the whole thing. And guess what? It's vehicle based.
And
so
the thing is when you do it, you automatically get aggro and people want to ruin your shit.
Yeah, no. So thankfully, Lucky helped me for about an hour last night cheese it for myself. Because like, I know you already cheesed it on your own with the helipad and the tow cable, but doing it with 2 people, it's really easy to cheese. I literally, make sure the vehicle spawns, get in, drive a little bit so you can safely heli me, and then it's just like, all right, cool, we're cruising. Can't be fucked with. So it's easy to exploit, but as I like to say, that's still not necessarily good game design if the game is exploitable,
Yeah.
You don't start with a playlist app. You can't customize the music you can listen to. It's just radio waves. And also, even though you have a phone, you can't listen to the radio anywhere until you get the playlist app. But you do get it, You can unlock a lot of stuff with your weapons. You can unlock the helipad. You can unlock the marina. I'm so mad. We got to get another HQ upgrade. I stole the biggest slowest boat. It won't fit in the church boathouse.
Oh, god damn it.
I drove it halfway across that fucking lake, and the game literally tells me this vehicle is too large to fit here. Even though I can't drive it into the boathouse. It's a snug fit, though. And I'm just like, aw. I wish I had known that ahead of time. I wouldn't have wasted all that time. I did steal a sailboat and then use one of the presets to make it not a sailboat. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff there. Like, helicoptering is pretty fun. You can't really, like, grapple around, though.
I would love to grapple.
Or, like, explore anywhere.
I would have loved a fucking grapple gun or something.
Yeah, it would be a fun gadget, and it would let you explore more, but I kind of understand why they didn't do it, because sometimes your inability to go up or down is part of the design, right?
I suppose.
Like, when you're doing drug pallets, like, figuring out where you can climb and go is part of it. Yes, there is a open world, they call it a discovery. It's just an open world thing you can do where you'll find pallets of drugs, and you, like, take 1 single kilo and put it in your pocket, and you make some money. There's like 125 of them.
Yes.
And, like, I understand why there are so many unlocks. There is so much shit to do in this game. And most of it is fun on some level. Like, honestly, even the car parts that are annoying, like, they're still funny because you, like, get more dialogue, you get more costumes and more cosmetics and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You unlock a fuck ton of vehicles you don't need.
Yeah, no, I thought I was going to have to, like, grab favorite vehicles. Like, no, I just got to wait for them to unlock, and then I'll just customize them to do that. Like, I just got my Saints Phoenix, and I'm like, well, I already bought all the grips on my regular Phoenix, so I'm just gonna, you know, move them over to the one that I can't delete.
Yeah, no. You know, like, there's a lot of stuff here, you know? And a lot of the silly stuff, too. Like, you know, I need to figure out where the rest of the dumpsters are for the golden truck parts. I'm missing, like, one truck bit.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that turns into a golden truck at the end, probably.
Probably.
But, like, do you want to drive around Santa Ileso in a taco truck? Probably not. But you can, because you did that whole side quest. You can drive any of the trucks you steal, actually. Like, there's a remarkable amount of progression to this game. The skill system and the perk system is honestly kind of fun. It's a huge money sink, especially perks, but it still works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you unlock it by doing challenges and getting EXP for stuff and, you know, the usual, and you can kind of customize, you know? Well, it's really interesting you use the Dark Messiah, but it is Dark Messiah. Like, that's, I got a custom skin for my SMG in a dumpster. You know, you can unlock lots of skins for your weapons, which don't change them mechanically. You can unlock vehicles. Like, you can actually get new shit.
Yeah, no, like I was talking about.
Some of it is practical.
Like, one of the discovery things is called Hidden Histories. Basically, you go to an area, and you basically just wander around. You hit the start token, then you hit 4 other tokens. You do that for a few times, you get unique rewards. Like, sometimes it's just a piece of clothing. But the one I got gave a ranged melee weapon. Literally, I think it's called, like, the Fist of God. It's basically a punch glove on a gun. Yeah. And you get 2 of them, so you can dual wield these punch gloves and just box people from, like, 30 feet away. It's kind of hilarious.
And that's the kind of rewards you get, right?
Yeah.
There's also, like, so many stores and so many items you can buy for, like, different tattoos and clothing and etc. You know, all the stuff there. You can customize cars.
Mm-hmm.
Your weapons have different skins and upgrades and everything. And they have unique challenges to unlock your weapon's special ability. Like, I had to really work at it, but I unlocked the burst rifle special ability, which lets you do bonus damage to vehicles.
Yeah. I did that one by literally just shooting into the air until I had one magazine left.
It requires you to be on your last mag. If you have not turned up the difficulty slider on ammo drops, you will get a lot of ammo because you have to kill a lot of dudes, and each of them drops a significant amount of ammo. So if you accidentally walk over, like, a corpse or 2, you're like, fuck, I'm full. But, so it is a little bit of a challenge. Thankfully, you only have to shoot, like, you have to kill, like, get 5 kills, I think?
Yes, 5.
I was able to pick it up by, like, actually watching my ammo count and stuff. But, yeah, so there's lots of those little fun things. So there's plenty of time to be put in it and stuff in there. It's just, the game is buggy. Like I said, I am not constantly, but I am very frequently getting moments where I'm like, controls are broken. Can't do anything. Can't get access to the phone. I can only access the start menu, or I can kick, apparently. Sometimes you can't shoot. You can only run and jump, you know. And the game is not clear. Like, some of that's just because, like, if you're near the HQ, you can't pull a gun out.
Yep.
But the game doesn't really tell you that, so you just have to kind of intuit. Oh, that's why that was a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, I just really hope that they make enough money off their pre-orders and people checking it out, because there are some positive reviews out there, or some people will just be like, I don't trust reviewers. Which I gotta admit was kind of my logic. I was like, man, y'all
I have not caught
yelling a
that
lot
one
like
yet.
Cyberpunk numbers, and I'm just like, that means that I disbelieve you. You're wrong. And
No.
they're kind of wrong, kind of right. Like I said, some
Like, I mean,
complaints
like-
are legit, some are not.
Like,
Or at least for me.
Like, I try to tell people, like, I ain't no point in trying to sell, like, Saint Row as, you know, an actual good game. But just because something isn't 10 out of 10 doesn't mean it's absolute garbage. Yeah, no, Lenos, man, I am a little leery about that. Like, with the response of the communities and whatnot. Like, I don't know how, like, they're gonna design. But I think this will ultimately be decided by sales numbers. Ultimately.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't... If you have a game that's kind of mid, I don't think you go, well, too bad, time to go to the next one, right? Like, you wanna get some patches out. And loads of games have been crap and turn it around. We literally just told the story of Final Fantasy XIV before. No Man's Sky is, like, fucking everywhere these days. I see so many people streaming and playing that game now that it's been through, like, 5 years of patches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they have the capital, I would assume you would want to polish this game up, make it a little tighter, and perhaps try and make it appealing so that you can get those sweet licensing deals for, like, a Game Pass or a PS Plus, right?
Right.
Like, because I think Saints Row, honestly, that's going to be one of those sleeper hit on Game Pass and PS Plus shit. Like, it'll, in probably 3 or 4 months, it'll go onto those free premium services, and people will be like, oh, I heard this game was dog shit. Well, it's free now. I'll try it. And after, assuming they do actually get through some of the patching and stuff, because, like, that is one thing, like, that I think would be bad if in this day and age of being able to fix games, the game stays kind of buggy, right? That would be kind of sad and kind of unfortunate and a little bit of a bad move on the developer's part. Like, if they weren't ready to lay down those fixes and do that extra work. But people will be trying it later, and they'll be like, oh, this game's not that bad, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Will that be enough to, like, save Volition's reputation or, you know, get DLC or whatever? I don't know. And I don't know if I care. Like, the game is okay. We'll see when I get to the end of it. I'm like, man, I need a sequel, right?
Yeah.
Not that has stopped game developers before. Again, I don't think anybody saw Saints Row the Third and was like, damn, I really need Saints Row 4. It's just they had the money and somebody was interested, you know? And it's reasonable enough. So, you know, if you see it, like, on sale or you want to give it a try for yourself, go for it. You know, try it out. Try it to see if you like it. And if you don't like it, like, if the things Lucky and I mentioned to you are real deal breakers, then don't buy it. That's okay. You don't have to like every game. You know, we're enjoying it, even though we understand it has flaws. And some of that stuff can get ironed out, and some of that probably won't. But, you know, it is what it is. It exists. As Lucky brought up earlier, not every game does have to be 10 out of 10, you know? And I'll admit, I'm not necessarily, like, the most cutting-edgest gamer, right? Like, my other big pull for this month, though there were some games that I'm like, man, I need to go back and check out. My other big pull that's coming up this month, and I don't know if I'll pick it up right away, but it will be on my list to pick up soon, will be, hey, they made a remaster of Destroy Humans 2. Destroy Humans 2 Reprobed. I can't even call it a remake, because it's literally the same game as the PS2 version. It's just all super HD and stuff. That's cool. That's all I need. That's, you know, those games are old. I don't think I have a working PS2 anymore. So, you know, and the remasters look great. So, you know, that's good enough for me, right?
Right.
And that's literal PS2 era game philosophy. But yeah, and like I said, I know some people were like, some reviewers were like, I played through the whole game, credits rolled, I was not happy. I'll be like, okay, maybe they'll take a turn, I'll see. I kind of don't think so, though, because I kind of feel like I know what the trajectory of this game is, especially because it didn't in media res.
Mm-hmm.
So, is all right. It does stuff. All right. Well, my water bottle is once again empty. And I see Lucky is frolicking in a river, so
Yes.
I'm going to take a quick break and fill up my bottle of water before we continue. Maybe we can talk about Gamescom some.
Oh, Gamescom. Actually, I should log into FGO before I forget.
This is also a good idea. All right. Pause and record.
Give me 1 second, folks. I'm gonna sell all these fucking silver embers before I can have more mana prisms. Cause I'm getting a fuck ton. Wee. Yep, trying to use these 4-star embers to level past 100 was a mistake. I should just use them for everyone below level 100. I'm the rabbit. Yep. Let's see here. My Dioscuri is level 75, so let's work on them. Gotta work on getting everyone leveled before hecking we get that system. Alright, that's level 80. Ascension. Go, power up. I have not touched the raids yet. Honestly, I need to get working on Tataru, the main scenario, the raids. But I'll do that eventually. Right now, it is island time. Actually, Loth, what's the item level on the new raid gear? Is it 595? Oh, it's 600. Jesus, okay. That's a big upgrade. Holy shit. I'll definitely... No, that's fine. I'll take care of it myself. I'll probably try to get through them today or tomorrow. As I try to get Dioscuri to 90. They're at 85 right now. I'll definitely look into it later, but I'm not going to do it now because that's going to require me to think, which is very bad. There we go. Level limit reached. Dioscuri is done. You were talking about that. I remember that.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back. Let's use 8.
Zoom in the recording. I have a full bottle of water, and I have put on a bandana because I am sweating here.
Jesus.
Yeah. I'm attempting to catch the sweat from my brow and from my head. Part of it might just be wearing the headphones. But anyway, we're here. We're going. Suz. Gamescomas. It was a Gamescom opening night, hosted by Jeff Keighley. Stuff happened there. General vibes. There was once again a lot of space. Very popular space. Happy to see it. But I also would like to say, at least the vibes I got from a decent number of trailers was there was definitely the vibe I got from quite a few trailers was so Elden Ring's going to be Game of the Year.
Probably.
So that, like, there was a lot of marketing that seemed focused that way. I mean, technically, we've been doing Let's Take FJ for like 5 years.
Yes.
So depending on when you were in high school. I mean, sure, Elden Ring can be fine, but that's still like I said, a lot of the marketing seems to be like, yeah, that game was super cool. Check it out.
I mean, that's
it's marketing, yeah.
Yeah, I want to say that's how like the zeitgeist works.
Yeah.
Once one thing big happens, there's a big concerted effort for everyone to make something of that same vein, and then all of a sudden we're in a theme.
Trend chasing and stuff and something like that. I think also there's a little bit of I feel like there's a little bit of a renaissance in the like MMO type vibes. There was a Dune survival MMO announced, Dune Awakening, and I'm kind of like, weird. Probably not for me, as much as I think Dune is cool. But there is a handful of things. Oh wow, sorry. I'm trying to find a list from of everything covered at opening night, and I'm currently on PC Gamer, and boy, they're editorializing. Lords of the Fallen. What is it? New name for Lords of the Fallen 2. Sequel to a not very good Souls-like. Oof.
Well, from what I understand of Lords of the Fallen, it wasn't a very good Souls-like, but...
Yeah, I guess very good, probably incorrect, but like, damn, that's just slinging them. I know some people liked it anyway. Probably, obviously, some people liked it. It's getting a fucking sequel.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one of those games where I was like, yes, Elden Ring. I felt the same for this other game, Everywhere, but that was an god-awful opener because the developers didn't talk about fucking anything. They were just like, oh, look at all that stuff. It's some metaverse bullshit, I'm sure. So, yeah. But there were a wide variety of trailers showcasing a lot of stuff. Let's see. I think Lies of P was a really strong trailer.
Yep, no, a lot of people are excited for that one.
Yeah. Speaking of clones, this one looks like it's very heavily influenced by Bloodborne, right down to the interface is very Souls-like. But it's like about Pinocchio stuff. And there's some cool shit in there. Looks good. I'm kind of interested to try that one out myself. There's some space stuff going on.
A lot of space stuff.
Yeah. Stranded Alien Dawn is a strategy survival game on alien planets. That's good. Hard Space Shipbreaker's coming to consoles.
I might pick that one up.
Yeah, I'm interested. Who the fuck knows? It says September 20th. Could be PS Plus game?
Would be nice.
I don't know if it's on Game Pass. We'll see. Fucking once again to let you know how much of a celebrity Hideo Kojima is in the game design period. The part is probably because Jeff Keighley was here. He's launching a new podcast about game development, including some news sections done by Jeff Keighley. It will be simul-translated into English as well, and it will be launching on Spotify next month.
I'm interested in it.
Yeah, it's called Brain Structure, so I'm very interested in that as well. Also, it kind of in the same vein, but not announced then. Sakurai, the developer for
Smash
Brother, yeah, he is also launching a podcast or YouTube video series on game design as well that he is saying he's not going to monetize. So, like, these kind of interesting spaces we're getting into.
Yeah, social media and content creation is really wild when you think about it. It gives a lot of people a voice and avenues that
Yeah.
they might not, necessarily consider a lot.
Yeah, I think YouTube is launching a standalone like podcast portal.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, because they have a lot of podcasting, both audio and video, on there. And if they do that, I will have to try and make sure our podcasts are categorized correctly on that segment to get them extra views.
That'd be nice.
Probably just whoever Kojima's translator is. I'm sorry, we're talking about the simul translation, but yeah, there's some stuff in there. Let's see. Where they're doing literally new Tales from the Borderlands. That's its title.
I really did I liked a lot of Telltale games, but New Tales from the Borderland I think was one of my favorites.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it works because obviously it's in the Telltale style, but it is being developed by Gearbox directly.
Mm-hmm.
For some ungodly reason, Jeff Keighley summoned known weird boy Randy Pritchford to the stage to talk about it.
I didn't see that.
Don't really know why we wanted to do that.
Like I said, I got into the stream right after that, so I didn't hear that bit, and I'm okay. I'm a little okay with that. I'm not.
Yeah, you just well, that's when they started rolling the trailer. I was like, oh shit, Lucky, are you watching this?
Yeah.
Shit, I'm not. I'm like, well, you should be. Let's see. Yeah. There was a New Code Simulator 3 trailer. There was a another trailer for Return to Monkey Island, looking very good. Had a classy horse armor joke in there. It's literally useless. Well, Telltale is not still alive. Telltale has been reanimated into something else. I'm pretty sure they went bankrupt and had to restructure. And had to let go of a lot of their staffers. So, yes, Telltale does exist again, kind of, but it's still not quite the same thing. But yeah, no, Randy is a weird guy. I think even though we've cleared him of any, misconduct, he's still a weird dude. And also that segment they had at the last time E3 was real was hella cringy. You want to talk about cringe? Randy Pritchford bumming around the filming site for the Borderlands movie, which is somehow still not out and probably is not good. Trying to find Kevin Hart. That's cringy, y'all. Especially when he does find Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart clearly doesn't want to be there. But yeah, so one of the big standouts for me was Moonbreaker. This is a game being developed by Unknown Worlds, who you most recently probably know from Subnautica fame.
Yeah.
And they are making a digital miniatures sci-fi game.
It's so...
And when I say digital miniatures, I'm not kidding. They have a built-in minis painter.
It's such a move.
Yeah, no. I mean, and the head of Unknown Worlds got on stage and was like, "Yeah, we like to reinvent ourselves every game. We do some very broad stuff." They did natural selection, I think, before Subnautica, or was it natural selection 2, which was a hybrid FPS RTS game. So they're all about doing some weird shit. Let me look at their full games. Yeah, so they did the natural selection mod off of Half-Life. They did natural selection 2. They did a Sudoku game in 06, and then they did Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero, and now they're making Moonbreaker. So yeah, no. They do a lot of weird stuff. But this game looks really rad because they're leaning heavily into the miniatures aspect of it, right? With the painting, with the little stands and everything. For me, I'm like, damn, that's probably a day one buy for me.
Mm-hmm.
They've got well-known and incredibly prolific author Brandon Sanderson, Brando Sando, writing for it, contributing. Yep. So that's pretty solid. So I think it'll have an interesting setting, and it looks fun and funny. Also, yeah, as somebody said in chat, no, it's perfectly digital. Literally, it's all It is a miniatures tactical game, but it is like completely digital. It is the game that Games Workshop should make, but instead nobody wants to make. Maybe they're scared that if somebody made a perfect digital representation of their tabletop game, they would lose all their fucking money.
They totally would lose all their fucking money.
Oh, God, for the fact that Moonbreaker has a digital painter, which is like an actual painting tool, and you don't have to fuck around with real life paint. That alone would probably be worth it to so many people. Like, if that was actual Warhammer 40K, I mean, the game developers would make a bajillions of dollars, but I'm sure
just wait till it comes
to fuck it up somehow.
Just wait till it comes to PC and people start modding in Warhammer.
Oh yeah, no, it's going to early access on PC first, so yeah, just wait until everybody just mods in the shit.
Loth, I have not seen the reward for the Rising event. What is it?
Yeah, very loudly in chat. But yeah, while he's typing that, I'm sure. Another fun game was Friend vs. Friends. A competitive card game FPS. Neon Demon. No, Neon White? What was it actually called? Neon Demon's a movie. I think it was Neon White.
I think it was Neon White.
Yeah. That game was apparently actually really good. I am interested in trying it myself. Apparently that caught on, so Friends vs. Friends is going in that range, but it's like PvP. The Gunpla version of Moonbreaker would also be pretty rad. I think there have been some Gundam play-ins, but we'll see. They I see what they're going for. Like, they're obviously going in the 40K BattleTech knockoff sphere with Moonbreaker. I would not be shocked if this perhaps wasn't originally a pitch to Games Workshop, and they were like, no, you can make any 40K game you like, except make our miniatures game but digital. Because we want to sell minis at an uproarious markup. We're already losing sales to Chinese recasters. We can't allow people to just digitally get the products. Another fun one I saw was Atlas Fallen. It looked like they were that's the sand one. It looked like they were doing a lot of weird stuff with sand. It was mostly cinematic, but they did have a brief gameplay slice at the end, which did seem to indicate that you can actually jump high and power slide on sand.
Yes, no, that was very important to me. I literally saw the trailer of this person slide, and then they just jump, and I'm just like, but can I actually do that? And they show gameplay, and it's like, yes, you can do that. I'm like, okay, I am more sold than I was before.
Yeah, no. And it looks like it will have co-op options as well. Seems pretty all right. That'll be next year's. Hoyoverse showed up with a little bit of stuff. They had the Genshin Impact 3.0 trailer.
Yep, and there's Star Rail.
Yeah, and a Star Rail story trailer. So it's interesting. I see. I'm just going to list. I mean, there were some. Let's see. Big hardliners. I mean, there was a. We started pretty early with a heavy Callisto Protocol trailer and gameplay showcase.
Yep. No, I was late to that, but I
Yeah.
I caught it later, and I'm like, yes, no, this is good.
Yeah, pretty good. Actual stealth. You can crouch now and sneak up on enemies. Looks like we are keeping the stasis, / gravity gun type stuff, but as a standalone, just a glove you have.
Yep, can pull and throw. It's very nice.
Yeah, and there's more gross environment shit for you to run into, which is great.
Yeah.
And they showed off a very dynamic slidey segment that can murder you at the end. Very Dead Space. So yeah, lots of good stuff there. Very excited for that. It's still coming out in December. We'll be ready to see that one. I'm not a big Sonic guy, but there was a big Sonic trailer that I watched, and I just had this personal comment that the sound design was fucking great on that. They really captured HDifying those old school Sonic sounds of grinding, springing, etc. Going fast sounds. They did show there will be some 2D levels in there in addition to the open world type stuff, so that's got some people happy, I think.
Yes, and the fact that it has Corona DLC is only a win. I don't care what anyone says.
They're doing some Hololive collabing. There was another Hogwarts Legacies trailer. which you get to be evil, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. We'll see when that game gets closer to coming out. They did at least lock in their date. They're firmly next year, February 10th. Sorry. There's a Gotham Knights trailer. It was okay. We closed out with a big one, which was Dead Island 2 is real.
Yes.
I believe this got leaked or announced a little bit before Gamescom, but no, it was for real. They had a trailer. The name is kind of a misnomer now because it is definitely set in LA. But they do be looking like they do in Dead Island stuff.
Yeah, Dead Island went through a little bit of development hell. Was just ultimately dropped for a while.
Yeah. Looks like we've got somebody picking it back up.
I mean, like I said, I enjoyed the first Dead Island. I never beat it, but, you know, the time I spent in it...
Yeah, I never beat it either, but I put some time in. There was some fun stuff there.
Yeah. So they have, like, 6 character classes now, and...
Yeah.
All this other stuff, so...
There was definitely some weird ones. They're making a fucking... I mean, it makes sense with Dead by Daylight, which is on PS Plus Extra now, and the Friday the 13th game. They're making a Killer Clowns from Outer Space game.
That blew me out of the fucking water.
Yeah, which is supposed to be probably that... it says competitive multiplayer horror, so probably the asymmetric multiplayer type stuff.
Yeah.
So, very weird and very unexpected. So there was like a very minimal trailer for something called Weird Song. It's from studio known as Something Wicked Games, which includes a lot of ex-Bethesda and ex-Bioware developers. So depending on when they left and why they left, probably good, but also no, literally nothing. It was an absolutely useless trailer. It was like, hey, we're the game developers who worked on these games that were good and some of these games that were not good. We are making a new game. Check it out. And I'm like, cool. As soon as you have something to show me about your new game, maybe. Like, obviously, like, the staff on games like Dragon Age, Mass Effect, Fallout, New Vegas, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, like, okay, sure. You got some chops there, but, like, I need to see the thing, right? There was a very long and drawn-out trailer that people seemed very hyped for, Where the Winds Meet. It's a open-world wuxia kind of game.
I'm excited for it. It's like, I've been on a big wuxia kick, and if it's just, you know, Ghost of Tsushima about, you know, Chinese fantasy, I'm gonna be like, fuck yeah.
That's definitely what I was leaning towards myself, and then they actually did some real wuxia shit, and I was like, oh, okay, so we are actually doing some unique things here. Like, you could... there was a segment where you ran on water and actually get to do some of the, like, really big jumping and almost flying stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, okay, we got some new stuff. Any info on the developers and stuff. Big trailer. Interesting. Currently PC only.
Oh, When the Winds Meet? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It's being developed by Everstone Studios. They're the first game. They're being supported by NetEase. Which that's the publisher, at least. That's not a great look, NetEase. They are behind Diablo Immortal.
Oof.
And they released the Chinese versions of games that were cool. But they do also work with Suda51's current studio. It helped publish like Naraka Blade Point. So we'll see how that shakes out. But yeah, it's apparently PC only. I mean, if it's actually being made in China by Chinese developers, that would make sense. I don't know what the console market is like right there right now, but yeah, we'll see how that actually shakes out. It's still technically being developed by this like brand new studio, so it's one to watch as it comes around, you know. Let's see. Ooh, wow, that game is even stupider sounding than I thought. Outlast Trials.
Ugh.
They're making a new Outlast game, only now it's a 4-player co-op Outlast, and I'm just like, ugh. I didn't even get that from the first trailer, but now that I saw that, I'm just like, ugh. How does that make Outlast better? Now 4 of us can't do shit. But there was another one that looked pretty good. Blacktail. The witchcraft game. You get a bow and you do witchy things. And there's some Baba Yaga hinting, and I'm like, okay, we'll follow this. We'll figure it out. You were pretty interested in the trailer for the game Scars Above.
Which one was that?
The game that looks a lot like Returnal. It's the blurb on Steam is a challenging sci-fi third-person action-adventure shooter. It combines the rewarding feel of overcoming difficulty with a compelling and intricate story set in a mysterious alien world.
That saying is a lot of nothing, by the way.
Oh, yeah, no. What I get from that is like, yo, dog, we really liked Returnal. Which, fair. Hey, that game is really good by most accounts. I still haven't downloaded it myself, but I could. But I lucky played it on a What's Up a while back when it was free. And I know a lot of people have played it. So, like, if that's the game you kind of want to ape to, sure. But, like, art and aesthetic-wise, seems fine. It's just, that is a fucking useless blurb. There's like 4 different adjectives to this game.
Clay and copper ore.
That's probably what it is, Lettuceman. The new Outlast game is absolutely designed for streamer bullshit. I am definitely gonna watch Markiplier and his 3 friends play that game.
And scream
and yell
a lot.
at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like sometimes those games are good. I do not know if that will be a good look for Outlast. Like my understanding of Phasmophobia, a game I do actually want to try someday, preferably with Lucky, because like, that looks like it has actual mechanical depth. That is not just a you getting murdered simulator. There's like actually a wide variety of
my pasture is huge.
Interesting ghost stuff. Yeah. Are those guys all wearing little pith helmets, or are those little construction helmets?
Construction helmets.
Okay. Pasture expanded. With the same fucking fanfare of, you know, clearing a dungeon.
Yes.
Pretty solid. But I think that's most of the big trailers. I mean, like I said, there's some other stuff. Squanch Games showed High on Life, which is an FPS game being developed by Justin Roiland, and he's doing more voices. Kind of like more Rick and Morty game vibes. I feel like a lot of people be harsh in like Saints Row. I feel like you want to talk about like overextending the joke.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely Justin Roiland and Rick and Morty's style of just like half improv. We're gonna beat the joke into the ground until I literally run out of shit to say.
Let's go 3 pumpkin, 2 cabbage.
Like, they showed some gameplay on, like, the first boss and stuff, and I'm just like... I feel like you're stalling out this boss so you can finish the fucking joke lines, and I'm just like, that's a terrible way to do a game. Like, obviously, if you have cool dialogue and the player wants to not complete it to get the lines, neat. Just because you fucking recorded lines in the booth does not mean you should be forcing the gameplay to take longer. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Make a game where people only have to read to do it. Sorry, that review for Teenage Exocolonist is still so hilarious to me. Cons. Reading.
Wait, where?
You posted it. The Teenage Exocolonist blurb where somebody was like going through the pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can scroll up and find it. I probably can't because there's like 5 million posts about people getting to the next chapter in Xenoblade and being dead. Literally every chapter. Yes, I will call shots. Here it is. Okay. Teenage Exocolonist, social skim. So there's like 6 pros in this review that Lucky clipped out.
Mm-hmm.
Pros: absorbing world, vibrant mix of characters, opportunity for role playing. Anybody who's been a team will relate. The card element is well integrated. Plenty of replay. Cons: not technically impressive. Occasionally a touch wordy. Yeah, by which they mean it's an indie like visual novel style game. You will do a lot of reading, and it's all flat sprites. Like, okay, fine. The gamer's worst weakness: the reading.
Okay, I got space for 5 more animals. I'm like, what should I go? I want to go capture chocobos, but I don't think I have the proper net for that shit.
I mean, for Digimon Survive, I don't know if you could trailerize the visual novel parts too much. So I assume they just showed gameplay in a lot of trailers, and people were bamboozled. They didn't realize the gameplay to reading ratio. That can happen in some games. Varen also brought up a great idea: multiplayer Doom, as in co-op Doom. That would be very interesting. Yes. Like, obviously, I know the Doom remakes or remasters or whatever has some stuff there, but like being able to do that in a co-op sense in campaign would be funny. Scroll list. There's a new Park Beyond has got a launch window and a trailer. A park building sim. With like really extreme outlandish rides. I joke that it's like, so we're just straight up killing people because there's like jumps in roller coasters and stuff. But if you really want to scratch that itch, I don't know, when was the last time a roller coaster tycoon came out, right?
I know there's been occasional like theme park development games. I never hear much about them. You know, you like hear like Planet Roller Coaster and all those kind of things. Like, I've always liked like simulation building games and stuff, but yeah.
I think I talked about a few weeks back a video by a YouTube channel, Biggest Amphibian. I watch a lot of their videos now, but it was on Zoo Tycoon Complete. That got me in because I'm like, oh man, I love that game as a kid, right? So like, those you know, like broad business sim games can be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting, and I find it funny, and I kind of enjoy that it's like really big and like over the top. You know, that's actually got some fun there. Yeah, there's some extra game like names here that I'm like, I literally don't remember these trailers, but I'm not gonna click them because they're recording right now. So there's even more stuff to Gamescom opening night that we're not discussing currently, but didn't leave a huge impression.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they had a lot of games and stuff, so
yeah. You know, there was the requisite, you know, social awareness stuff. They did give out some awards, though the awards were very funny because they were apparently only accessible to games that were shown at Gamescom.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, they talk about most anticipated PS5 game. God of War was not there because I don't think it was at the event. Presumably because I'm just guessing. I'm just theorizing. I'm pretty sure Sony is holding their big press bomb for like sometime late in September for a state of play, like right before it comes out. Possibly even like first couple days in November. They're just going to be like, here's 30 minutes on God of War. Fuck you.
Oh, hey, Saints Row's got an update.
Ooh, okay.
It's a 2 gig update, by the way. Excuse me, 2.76 gigs. So, who knows? Maybe they'll fix a few things.
Hold on, I have to enter my birth date on their website to get access to the patch notes.
Oh, really? Well, shoot, I'm gonna look at them too.
Oh, it's month then day. Okay. Okay. No, that's only the Thursday. Here we go. Patch 1.4. Is this right? 23 hours ago. Maybe I'll click it at. I'll check them out on Twitter. Nah, I don't really see the exact details. Maybe it was a patch that was out earlier on whatchamacallit?
I think it might be off of a PC patch notes off the site here, because they're talking about game launcher and whatnot.
Yeah. I know I read some earlier tweets for some fixes they did that were apparently pushed to like Epic Store first and then came out later to consoles. So maybe that's what it is. This is a patch that already happened on PC and is coming to us later. So we'll see. Well, they're patching. Maybe you'll play better.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm hoping for.
Let's see. That said, there's been a lot more trailers and other random shit happening during Gamescom. I believe this was a trailer from there, but I don't know if Lucky saw. I posted this trailer in Games earlier, but I don't know if Lucky saw it. But there's a trailer, and it's on the PlayStation official site, so I know it's coming there, called Brewmaster Beer Brewing Simulator.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those simulator games, but for beer.
I'm always leery about simulator games. The only simulator game that I think I've actually only genuinely enjoyed, that has the what such and such simulator, is Goat Simulator. Like, I've tried playing like Farming Simulator and Big Rig Simulator or Trucking Simulator and stuff. I'm like, yeah, no, these things are kind of cool, but it's like, I don't know.
This one definitely seems like, it's a little abstracted all there, but it definitely seems like it's got kind of the granularity you might like in this kind of thing. If you're into it, because like you get to pick lots of different ingredients, you get to like pick your hops and stuff. There's a kitchen, you can move stuff around. You can skip time to make it go faster because brewing takes a while.
It does.
It has different like ratings. You can name all your stuff and you can design your own labels.
Oh.
So there's like, seems like they've got a pretty top to bottom. I will dump the trailer in a mod channel so like you can check it out later, rather than have to brave games. But there seems to be a wide variety of weird things going on there. It might be interesting, if there's some like actual simulation to it. Scratch my nose. Let me see. There was a couple other funny trailers I saw. I'm gonna try and go back and get. Oh yeah, because of Gamescom. Speaking of Forspoken earlier, there was a 10-minute gameplay trailer for Forspoken.
Mm-hmm.
They are definitely seem committed to having a lot of different spells and stuff you can do.
Oh yeah.
I know some people complain about the dialogue, but like every time Forspoken has a new trailer, I'm like, man, this game looks better and better. Like, you have lots of traversal and exploration options, it seems like. It's kind of open world stuff, and, the action RPG elements seem really well represented. There are a lot of different things you can do in different combos and stuff. Pick from different elements. And there'll be strengths and weaknesses. There's fucking gear. You can acquire drip. The trailer ends with a magical cat that appears. I do not yet know if you can pet the magical cat, but it will appear.
Magical cats are important.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, and then there's just a fuck ton of trailers from the Gamescom opening night, so I think that was the only other big one. But yeah, so decent spread from Gamescom. New stuff to track. So, other than our discussion on Saints Row and your ongoing quest to civilize this island, anything else you want to talk about this week, Lucky?
I don't think so, honestly. Like I said, most of my week has been taken up with Saints Row. I probably have a lot more to talk about and a lot more to show off if people have voted for Saints Row. Because I could actually go
you could actually show some stuff.
Yeah, but no, and like I said, I'm showing off what I've been mostly doing in Final Fantasy right now too, so it's...
Yeah.
Oh man, 1 second.
Okay, well, people can get to see.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see the stuff.
But... Oh, there's ground squirrels. Hello, small friend. You're very small. I could probably capture you.
There's a wide variety of animals I've noticed on your island.
Mm-hmm.
Most of whom seem not bothered by you.
Nope. They are very, very friendly.
But okay then. Well, to probably wrap
loud.
up a little. Oh, I stretch my bones and stuff. Like, obviously, I've been playing Saints Row decently as well, since I did lock my pre-order in and get that game Tuesday and go through all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
got other stuff to go on. I am still, chipping away at my backlog of other content for Gensakai.
Yeah, no, I saw you finally got through your elementals.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that you're writing down your Fae, and I read your little blurb on it, and I was like, damn it.
Yeah.
Talking about
how to get started on that and work through some stuff.
Seeing how they don't necessarily like pork, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Scratching my upper lip because of the sweatiness.
Mm-hmm.
The headband seems to be working on making my head not feel super wet, though. Good. Gosh, it's hot.
It'll be cooling down here in like a month.
Right now, though, because it's like rain off and on.
Oh wait, no, you're in Florida. It never cools down.
Nah, it's not entirely true. I'm in Central Florida now, so in winter it will get cool. It won't get cold, because since the more recent climate shenanigans, it will occasionally get below freezing multiple times, but not often. It's not like it snows or anything here usually. But it will get cold, yes, in winter. But only in winter. Like, we probably won't really have, like, a cool, brisk fall. It'll probably be, like, fucking hot, cold. So we'll see. Allegedly it's getting close to fall. We'll see if there's actually a transition this year, but I suspect it will be hot and thundery. It's actually been, like, only until, like, this week it has not actually been raining a lot, and it's been thundering and raining a lot more, which is usually what high summer is like for us, so... Don't know how that's going to work out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, no.
Loth, did you just try to do an emote from our Discord? It's a Discord emote, buddy. That's not a fun little, wide variety of our other emotes. You could do a terabit on the floor. That would be an emote that works. But yeah, so been working away at Gensakai, and we'll be moving on to other stuff as well, doing some setup in various places. I mean, I recognize the emote, but some people might not. A lot of floor terabits. Loth using his membership powers to go well. And obviously, like I said, I've been playing Saints Row, but for me, a decent chunk of my week was taken up with my grind on Master Duel, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. And I do want to talk about this because I want to get some of this stuff off my chest, but also give people an update. I talked about it a little on the Let's Talk that came out today to public, what was recorded last night, so to give you guys some updates. So, you're not worrying about me or anything. I am done with the Duel Pass. I've gotten to level 100. I got my scapegoat mate. I slammed out my last couple of games last night while the video was uploading for Let's Talk. And I can actually say my final match to hit level 100 in the Duel Pass was perfect. Because technically I won that one, even though I was running my suicide deck. We did the coin flip. My opponent chooses to go first. I'm like, okay, well, we'll see how it shakes out. Look at my hand. I'm like, I might be able to do this, and that might give me enough points to wrap it up. We literally are just like it goes, game start. Other guy surrenders immediately. I guess he bricked.
Oh.
He just drew a bad hand and folded immediately. So that counts as a win for me. Locked it in.
Nice.
And, so my saga ended. Which is good, because I was slowly losing my mind.
Yeah.
Now, I know that Master Duel does have actual literal bots. I'm pretty sure they don't have bots on PlayStation Network accounts, though, so... Because Master Duel does rat you out what service you're on. If I'm playing on my PlayStation, which is usually how I play, it will say that if somebody is a PlayStation user, it will say them in their PSID under their display name. If they are a Steam and I assume Xbox user, and also on mobile, it'll just give them their player ID code. So I ran into plenty of people who were terrible experiences to play against, who had PSN IDs. So I'm sure it's actual humans were just boring.
I'm pretty sure.
So if you don't know, if you haven't been following me on Twitter, let me explain this process to you. So, like many modern games, Master Duel operates in seasons, both for its ranked ladder and for its rewards. There's a system called the Duel Pass. The 50 levels are divided into free levels, so you don't have to pay any in-game currency, in-game gems. They're literally called gems to get access to them. But then there are 100 levels that are in the Dual Pass Gold. This costs gems, but you will get your gems back if you complete the whole level, so it's literally free. But if you buy the gold, you get access to extra resources. You can go past level 50, and you can get access to cosmetics. This season's cosmetic is a little scapegoat mate. So Master Duel has a lot of really good cosmetics, also a lot of jank ones that were like junk shit in the game files, like the car or the boxing gloves.
Mm-hmm.
Silly shit that I assume Master Duel has kept in just because it's funny and the players have kind of latched onto them. But they have a wide variety of cosmetics. They have some really great fields you can customize. The mates are little buddies who appear and do like little animations. I was previously rocking the Laundry Dragon Maid mate, who is what is called a premium mate, I assume because she has extra models. When you go to your battle phase, your Laundry Dragon Maid transforms into her dragon form, Nude Jarl. So, like, there's extra animations. It's very cool and cute. There's sleeves, there's icons, there's all kinds of stuff. Scapegoat, very iconic card, also very adorable. Yeah, let me see if I can find a good picture of the boy.
Yes.
I will post this in mod channel to Lucky so he can see what I was fighting so long and hard for. Who's the lad?
Look at that little fluffy boy.
Yeah, and Scapegoat is an iconic classic card, so lots of Yugi boomers know him, so I'm like, okay, I want to go all in on this. So I was playing through Ranked. Now, I've talked about my experiences in Master Duel, especially on my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, @UnitOmega. So I had not been playing Master Duel seriously. Like, I'd poked occasionally some of the events, and sometimes they would have new solo mode content, which gives you free shit and usually has some interesting stories about card lore, and fluff. So, worth playing for. But I hadn't played Ranked at all in so long. I fell all the way from Gold back down to Rookie, the bottom level. So I actually had a quite fun time climbing all the way up through those low levels because you see a lot of people who are either new or who have sucked at the game or not played in a while. So you got to fight a wide variety of decks and move on through some stuff. And it was a struggle in its own right, but I was, playing my actual decent decks. I started with Dragon Maids, then I graduated to a new Live Twin brew, a pure Live Twin brew. Live Twin is a deck I really like a lot. It's very fun. It also is full of cute girls. The Live Twins are their VTuber avatars, and then they become the Evil Twins, who are like their demonic Phantom Thief avatars. It's great. Super cool. And I really like it because it's a very dynamic deck that does a lot of disruption, but doesn't really do a lot of, negating or floodgating. To understand my rest story, I can explain. If you don't play Yu-Gi-Oh!, and this works to explain to Lucky as well, there is a type of card that is commonly referred to by the community as floodgates. What floodgates do is basically limit your opponent's, or often both players' plays. So, for instance, they will make it so that you cannot activate monster effects. They will make it so you cannot special summon, which sucks because even though it's called special summoning, that is most of the summons in the game because you are limited to one normal summon unless you're doing something weird. They might negate trap or spell effects, or they might, limit the amount of summons you can do. Either way, they kind of, narrow down the options your opponent has. Some decks can play a shitload of floodgates and win, and I hate those decks, and Master Duel refuses to ban them, though at least they did announce a new ban list where some floodgates will be banned. But Skill Drain's only going to 2 copies per deck, as opposed to the normal limit of 3. That's dumb. That's not going to stop anybody. You think my opponent is not going to be able to draw Skill Drain when he has 1 less of them? No. Sucks. Yeah, Varian knows about Skill Drain. Fucking terrible. Awful. So, the way I play Live Twin, we don't really do floodgates. So, you can do some floodgatey stuff, but for the most part, it's about disruption. You do certain plays at certain points to interrupt your opponent. And if they have certain responses, or if they're using certain counterplay, you're just fucked. If my opponent draws Nibiru, I lose. Because I summon a lot. So, it's got a strong rock, paper, scissors vibe. There are some decks that I will absolutely thrash, and other pieces of counterplay or other types of decks that I will just straight up lose to. So it was fun. And for the first time ever, I climbed all the way to Platinum. Because I'd never made it to Plat before, because getting out of Gold used to be really hard. Then they added Diamond, and I think that's where all the really tryhards went. Unfortunately, I assume that in the season, if you were in Diamond, you probably get kicked down to Plat. So when I was in Plat 5, Platinum Rank 5, it's a whole different experience. There's a lot of sweaty decks there. I was quite content to stop my ranked journey at just getting to Plat, but I had about 10 levels left on my dual pass, and when I started this grind, I had about a week left. So I was like, fuck it, I really want my scapegoat, right?
Right.
Like, I've climbed all the way through ranked, I've hit a personal milestone, I'm happy with just making it to Platinum for the first time, because I couldn't do that before. But I don't really want to grind out the rest of these Plat games, because God forbid, I do not want to go to Diamond. Oh, no. It's Despia is the least of my problems. I can trounce Despia players with Live Twin. It's the fucking... Oh, I used to really love Flunder, but seeing how other people play Flunder in ranked killed it for me. You might think Flu Under Rees is a cute bird deck, but no. Players play Floodgates in that, and that's really annoying. Still way too much Eldritch, fucking hell. But it's a lot of Sword Soul, a lot of Adventure Engine shit. Very annoying stuff that involves playing a combo for like 5 minutes. So it's just, it got really frustrating, and I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? I tried to play for realsies, but it was just so slow because I think Master Duel has a problem. I've been saying this since it came out, but it is a best-of-1 game. There is no side decking. Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not designed to be a best-of-1 game. This is why in the progression tournament, we eventually switched to allowing matches for most of our games, because there is a lot of something to be said when you can access your sideboard and be like, okay, I'm going to switch up my strategy or switch what counterplay is to match your deck so I have responses and plays, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, basic strategy shit. Everything in Master Duel is best of one and done. This means that some decks are very strong because they require counterplay that is not very common. It is not very applicable outside of counterplaying that specific deck. So those decks get kind of additional, wins that way.
Yeah.
And so you go through a lot of the stuff, you lose the coin flip, and I'm like, okay, so I can play it out. Usually if I lost the coin flip and went second, and I saw my opponent playing a popular meta deck, I was like, okay, he's going to be here to 5 or 10 minutes, so I will skip it. Punk doesn't have a special pack, but whatever master pack they're in probably works pretty well, because it'll collect all the stuff. I was able to pull a lot of Live Twin just pulling the pack that just has Trouble Sunny in it.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, the pack economy in Master Duel is really good for what should be a gotcha ass pay to win game. It is not. Like, the game is very generous with gems if you play it normally, even if you only play solo mode or just log in and watch, live screens. Like, if you're willing to put in your time, you can get plenty of free currency and open up packs, and the ratio is pretty good. The only thing that's goofy is what cards count as what rarities. There's 4 rarities in Master Duel. There is normal, rare, super rare, ultra rare. What cards are ultras and supers is crazy. I think to make the economy of the secret packs, which are themed to certain in-game archetypes and themes of cards, right?
Right.
And you unlock them by crafting or rolling a random card in that set, and it's like, ooh, you get a little key. You unlock your secret pack for 24 hours. What counts as ultra rares is very weird, I think, to make those packs work, so they have high rarity cards. So if you're trying to play a butt-ass deck, you might have some ultra rares in there. Luckily, you can craft anything, so that's another reason why to buy the Gold's Dual Pass, you get extra crafting currency to craft the cards you want.
Mm-hmm.
So, the economy is very good. It's interacting with human beings that sucks butts. So like I said, I would very often fold right away if I lost the coin flip, because I would see this person play and I'm going to be like, okay, he's going to play for 10 minutes. I don't want to be here for 10 minutes just to lose because I don't have a good hand. So I'm just going to go again. I only care about finishing the game so I can get gameplay. And yes, if I win, that progresses my dual pass experience bar more. But if I actually lose the game, it goes farther. The problem is that because tournaments are timed, in real-life Yu-Gi-Oh!, a fair number of winning strategies are just to beat out or box out your opponent enough to set up a game state where they understand they can't win, they scoop, you go again, because it's best of 3, right?
Yeah.
This is how a lot of decks are strategized to work. This is how a lot of players learn to play. And Master Duel touts itself as a Yu-Gi-Oh! Simulator, a real boy simulator. The problem is because it's best of 1, and the way that surrendering works, that doesn't get you any rewards. If you surrender in a game, you don't get anything at all. You don't go up in your ranked at all because obviously it counts as a loss, but also you don't get any experience with your duelist level or your duel pass. You don't get currency for festivals or anything. And it sucks. I understand why Konami doesn't want to reward you for starting a game, looking at your opening hand, and go scoop, right? Like, literally, that could easily be abused. That probably doesn't necessarily emphasize a healthy game state because people will literally just surrender to win.
Yeah.
But when I've been playing the game for 15 goddamn minutes and I know I have lost the game, but my opponent is not going to kill me for a couple of other turns, and because I am playing a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! With humans, they are not going to kill me in those turns because they're going to keep doing their fucking combos. No, surrender has never been abused. Surrender has always gotten you nothing. But the fact that I can play out a game, I can play a real game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And just I realize the game is over, and if I surrender, I am punished. I hate that. That's stupid. They should fix that part. I don't know how they fix that part, but, like, if I surrender after I've been playing the game for more than, like, 60 seconds, you should count that as a normal loss and give me the credit on it. Because playing out Yu-Gi-Oh! To the last is a really slow process because your opponent will not stop fucking playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I've noticed this a lot. Because what I did to get my scapegoat, guys, was I developed a suicide strategy. So, you have probably heard me talk about this story before, but it's been several months. Master Duel does these festivals. They usually, like, let you pick only a specific card type, or they do really weird stuff, right? No, if a full turn goes by, it does not count as a normal loss. Trust me, I have surrendered. I mean, they could, but what? Why? Being concerned about bots or AI is just whatever. Nobody makes bots to surrender. You're not botting in Master Duel Surrender. No, you can suicide yourself. That's actually because in ranked. Oh, if a turn counter goes by, they should count it. Yes, that would actually be a really good one. If you play more than one, if you play a full turn, a full back and forth turn, and then you surrender, that should count. Yes, that would be great. That I think would be ideal. Because that's the issue, right? You don't want people to just look at their hand, fold, or take their loss when they get kicked for lack of activity. But like I said, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is really frustrating to play out some games, and it sucks because if you're trying to progress in their dual pass system, you are kind of penalized and enforced to play out games, and it's very annoying because, like I said, people will not stop playing. So no, they have never banned a self-kill strategy because I think Konami doesn't have enough time or money or enough care to actually intelligently build their game system to tell when you deliberately kill yourself and not when you accidentally fuck up a combo and just run out of life points. So they do these festivals. Some of their festivals are really cool. They've done a festival where you can only have one copy of any given card in your deck, like period. That was very funny. They've done low rarity only stuff. Yeah, draws are weird, but that's just because that causes a lot of pain in the ass for tournament play. Again, because tournaments are timed and best of 3. So if you draw, how does that work, right?
Right.
So these festivals are usually really cool. I think based on data mining, they are queuing up for another festival. I may actually go back to playing the game because it seems like it's going to be a link format-based festival, and I have a really good deck for that. It's called Live Twin. I just went to plat with it. But anyway, people figured out during the festival, if you surrender, you get nothing in the festival. If you win, you get a certain amount of medals, which progress you down the point ladder to get your extra free gems and some cosmetic rewards. The problem, Mr. Dennis Cordell, is that you can't go to best of 5. You don't have the time for that in a tournament setting. You only have like an hour or 2 hours or whatever to do your matches. So that's why it's fucky. That's why Konami doesn't like draws, because it's fucky for the tournament setup. Because people are already playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For like 8 hours. They can't be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For 12 hours. Anyway. This discussion I'm having with chat right now, audience, if you're just casually listening, this is part of why Master Duel is flawed, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a lot of concessions around the tournament-style play that is the best-of-3 format with a time limit that Master Duel doesn't really do anything with, and it makes the game worse because it is not designed around that kind of play. I also genuinely think the turn timer is bad. The fact that this recent thing they did, the Duelist Cup, had a, extra short timer, that was amazing. That was really good because people were not stalling in the Duelist Cup. They were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you can't fuck around. Yeah, round of Swiss is 45 minutes. Yeah, you can't afford to take extra games then. But anyway, so like I said, during the festivals, you got medals for winning, and you got half as many medals for losing. People very quickly realized, because people are efficiency machines, and also, like I said, sometimes playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Is painful, that you could get your rewards, you could get your free currency rewards by just killing yourself, because there are cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! That deal damage to yourself, and if at any point you go to 0 life points, you lose. And it is designed to let you kill yourself because that's part of the punish, right?
Right.
So these decks were very, very popular. Personally, I was okay with it because I got free wins, but Konami was clearly not okay with it. So what they did was they just times 5 the amount of rewards you got for winning a game to make it much more efficient on your time to actually try and win, because if you can try and win one game, that gives you way more medals than trying to lose like 5 games, basically. I think it was the equivalent of like 1 win became the equivalent of 10 losses, right? So time-wise, that's just much better to try and win a single game, right?
Right.
This was a very positive change. This was a good hot fix. However, that doesn't apply to your dual pass. You do get about half as many rewards still if you dual pass lose, but you get none if you surrender. So, me, being a brainiac, being a smartman, I was like, okay, I know how, with like 3 days left by the time I'd come to this decision, with like, I think it was more like 4, because I think we have like 2 days left now, and I finished it last night. I was like, okay, I'm going to look up those suicide decks, because none of those cards are banned, and I am going to build a suicide deck in Plat in Master Duel, and just try and kill myself turn 1. Yes, I will only get... Well, that means I have to lose 4 games, but the amount of time it takes me to lose 4 games versus winning 2 games, way more time efficient. And I thought less frustrating. And sometimes it is less frustrating. When I win the coin flip, which I did do quite a lot of times, I think I used to lose almost every coin flip in Master Duel. I feel like it's evened out for me. I don't know if that's just confirmation bias or what, but I'm having a better time with coin flips. If I win the coin flip and I draw the appropriate amount of cards from my deck, I can just kill myself on turn 1 and go for it. Unfortunately, in Plat, because I was stuck with a lot of sweaty neckbeards, I encountered some resistance to this strategy. People did not necessarily realize I was trying to just kill myself. So they would respond to me doing things by negating me from doing things. Also, by the way, if you ever want to hear my opinion on the Max C argument, this is something that Lucky's not going to get at all, but Max C is a very powerful hand trap that everybody runs because it's legal in Master Duel. Max C should be fucking banned, because I cannot tell you how many times I opened a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I played my first card, my opponent's only response for my entire turn, one single Max C. Fucking ban that stupid cockroach. Get rid of those fuckers. It's in literally every deck. Nobody doesn't play it for no reason. It's dumb. You should get rid of it. Anyway.
Okay, you gotta explain what Max C is, though.
Okay. So, I talked before about how special summoning is really common, right?
Right.
Max C is a hand trap. It is a card you can activate from your hand, even on your opponent's turn. So, pretty powerful mechanic. You discard it for the rest of the turn. If your opponent special summons a monster, you draw 1 card. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has no resources other than the cards you have drawn in your hand, or otherwise, put into play.
Mm-hmm.
So Max C is really powerful. Most decks that are really good like to special summon at least a couple of times. Some decks special summon a fuck ton of times. And basically, if your opponent plays Max C, we call it, a lot of the times people call it the Max C challenge. You are basically guaranteeing that, or you're betting, you can do your whole play and beat the fact that your opponent's going to be holding like 10 cards at the end of your turn, which includes like board-breaking cards that'll like wipe out your entire board, or give you plenty of negates, or let you set up your entire combo. So basically, you just get to keep drawing through your deck for all your best cards, usually one of which your best cards will probably blow out your opponent's entire play. And obviously, some boards can make enough negates, they can make enough cards that can't be beat up, that are indestructible or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that they don't draw the hand trap that also punishes you for making a lot of special summons. It's kind of silly that they're both legal in the game state. And so, generally, the correct play when your opponent Max sees you is to stop playing Yu-Gi-Oh! You pass your turn. You finish whatever you're doing, you set as many cards as you can, and you go home, because no matter what happens, you are not going to enjoy giving your opponent more cards. And this is why I think that Max C should be banned, because everybody can play it at 3, everybody does play it at 3, and they will activate it for literally any reason. I will activate a card that does not say special summon that costs me half of my life points, my opponent will max C and do nothing else. They just literally autopilot max C. It is so silly. Sometimes they will use another hand trap, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Ash does a couple of things. The primary thing people use it for is when your opponent plays a card that lets them draw more cards, you can negate it. So Ash does negate max C, by the way. Very funny. That I understand, because usually you would max C my first move to, like, special summon a guy from the deck or add a guy to my hand, and that would be like, okay, they don't understand that I'm trying to kill myself yet, even though my name is literally Free Win. But to be fair, I played a decent number of people. Master Duel is international. I played a decent number of people with usernames in Japanese or Korean. I suspect they were actual, early morning or midday, Master Duel players in Japan or Korea at like 2 o'clock in the morning for me, right? So I don't know if they can read English, so that's fine. But like, so many times I would literally be trying to kill myself, and my opponent would try and stop my plays, even though my display name literally says Free Win. And I assume plenty of people should at least remember the concept of the suicide decks. Yes, it was the very first event that Master Duel did, but like, I remember it, and I haven't been playing Master Duel constantly for months. So yeah, like I feel like some people should realize what this strat is. And the worst thing is, if I don't have enough gas to kill myself, oh my god, some Yu-Gi-Oh players are fucking insufferable. So part of the strategy for killing myself involves special summoning a monster who has 0 attack. I leave him in attack position because that's an easy way to take more damage, right?
Right.
Yu-Gi-Oh players don't understand how to go to the battle phase anymore. I have like so little life left. You could put any monster on the board and kill me. They will still be special summoning in defense mode, which can attack, and they will try and do their whole combo. And I'm like, dude, if you want to go up in ranks, literally just go to battle phase and attack. I would scoop often then. I would scoop even though I was very close to my goal of dying, because I don't want to sit here for 5 minutes while this guy does his same boring-ass combo. Some people had honor. I will say this. Some Yu-Gi-Oh players do have honor. They see me in a killable position. They see that they can do it with one monster. They would make one monster. They would go to battle phase. They would run me the fuck over. Thank you. Handshake. Let's go. But so many times I had to scoop because I was like, this is against my strategy. You're going to take 10 minutes. I don't want to be here for that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically not literally 10 minutes, but unfortunately, like I said, the in-game timer for normal ranked mode, way too fucking long. It's 480 seconds, I think, or 460 seconds? Yeah, probably 460. It's literally like 8 fucking minutes. It's way too goddamn long. There is an AFK timer that's like 30 seconds if you don't do any inputs. But yeah, it was a miserable slog, and I bitched about it constantly on Master Duel. And like I said, I think I am not playing ranked for a long-ass time. Mm-hmm. Unless they have a really good duel pass. And now I'll probably just play the festivals if they have really good duel passes. Because festivals and solo modes are cool. The ranked is, at high levels, is butts. And everybody know it's butts. And unfortunately, Konami is just not doing enough to make it less butts. They announced a ban list where they're banning like 5 cards. Yu-Gi-Oh has hundreds of thousands of cards. And yes, these are good bans. I am glad to see those cards forbidden in Master Duel. You could forbid so many more cards, Konami. Nobody would give a shit. I think they're concerned about... actually, it's funny. So some cards in Master Duel have special animations, right?
Right.
Monsters have these special little cut-ins where they play a little transparency and they get a little animation. It's really cool. Everybody loves them. When you play that card, the special music, the music changes dramatically. Master Duel, presentation-wise, is an amazing game. I've talked about this before. They also have a... they have special animations for spells and traps now, which is really cool as well. So they'll do like lightning bolts will come out, or if you play Harpy's Feather Duster, a big feather will come and sweep away your opponent's back row of cards. They're spell and trap cards, right?
Yeah.
You play Dark Hole, a literal fucking black hole. Sucks up all the cards on the board. Real cool shit. The problem is, some of the cards that are iconic and got animations, I hate them. They're fucking stupid and they suck. They're floodgates. So I think some people were like, oh shit, Konami's not going to ban the cards they made animations for because they'll lose assets, right? And people might be right, because this upcoming ban list, which is going to ban cards which have animations, will include a new game mode where you can, in the dual rooms and other stuff, you can set it to no ban list. So you will still be able to use the cards that have the cute animations. But yeah, like, I think Konami is concerned about the economy or, like, wasting their animators and workers' time. That is a stupid-ass reason to be scared of stuff, to, like, as opposed to making your game healthier. Because I think, honestly, like, Master Duel can be really fun. There's a lot of fun decks out there. The fact that it takes Konami literal months to ban cards in a digital card game, by the way. Like, this is all digital. They can push these updates whenever the fuck they like. They actually have a refund system. If you scrap a card that has been added to the Forbidden and Limited list, you get extra crafting resources out of it, right? So, like, if you spend a lot of resources to make a card that is now banned, you can break it and get more cards out of it, right? Now, that may be why they don't want to ban a lot of cards so people don't abuse that system. If you do that, Konami, just take that system away. Nobody asked for you to be generous to us with this extra currency, right? I think people would much rather prefer having cards be banned than be able to craft new cards, right?
All right, I'm done fucking with Loth. I'll leave now.
Oh, did you go to Loth's Island and fuck with him?
Yeah.
Bye. Vroom, vroom.
Yeah, no, I just like drove. I just did donuts in his fucking pasture, spooked his sheep.
Yeah, we saw it.
It's great.
Spooked his sheep. But like, I can't help you. I cannot help you. I am physically. Even if I were to boot up the free trial right now, which I still haven't downloaded yet, I will probably do that sometime this weekend or on Monday maybe. I would have to play through all of that, buy the game, buy Endwalker, beat all of that to be able to like do anything to Lucky right now. To probably stand in your field and emote at him. But look at all the funsies we're having. But yeah, so like I still see decks that were good when Master Duel launched 8 months later, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not normally what happens in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, usually you get a Forbidden and Limited list, like, every 3 or 4 months. They do it, like, 3 or 4 times a year. They will usually hit powerful cards there. When they do that, they will release new sets to shake things up. Unfortunately, Master Duel is very slow with releasing sets. They are behind the English release version of the game, the trading card game, which is behind the what we call the OCG, the original card game, which is Japan and Korea's market for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Master Duel has a very slow growth of card pool. It does not ban cards frequently enough, and, like, it's really hard to say that you should play it. Like, if you download it for free, you play all the solo modes, that's fun. You can get some decks, and you can try the casual mode. Hey, guess what? The casual mode that's not ranked ladder, that doesn't give you dual pass rewards or duelist levels either. There's literally no purpose to playing it other than to play the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And unfortunately, because Master Duel's format is kind of jank, that's not necessarily fun, because you'll still run into tryhards in casual. It's very weird. Like, I think the game, it plays beautifully if you can play it with friends, or you can play the solo modes and other jank shit. It's funny, and like I said, if the new event is what I think it is, yeah, I think Varen brought up that the TCG's Forbidden and Limited list has been really slow this year. I think it's because every fucking product has been delayed this year in Yu-Gi-Oh! But yeah, like, I mean, like, I'm excited, because of reasons of Yu-Gi-Oh! My Live Twin deck, which I own a decent chunk of in paper, unfortunately I don't own a full chunk of it because it was fucking expensive because it was being tacked into a lot of things. Which is an unfortunate thing that happens to a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetypes, is your deck isn't good on its own, but it's good inside of other decks, so certain cards will be very expensive. So I'm really glad I was able to build it out in full in Master Duel and actually, like, get pretty far with it. I had a lot of fun. I'm probably going to have to do that with a later deck, Labyrinth, which just came out in the TCG, but is expensive because it is the best deck in that pack. And also it's the waifu archetype, so Konami made them high rarity for no reason. But here I will show Lucky some of the aesthetic for this.
Oh.
So this is the boss monster for Labyrinth.
Yep. Waifus.
And it's some of its lower level monsters are like they're themed like, obviously it's called Labyrinth, so there's some Labyrinth type stuff. This, chick has horns, so she's obviously going for kind of like a Minotaur thing. but they interface really well with trap cards, especially normal traps like mirror forces and trap holes, which I've always thought is very fun and I enjoy those. They also seem to have a little bit of a reverse Beauty and the Beast theme, because like they have monsters like Ku Clock, which is a demonic clock, and Chandelier. There's a G in there. I don't know how to say, but like it's a weird chandelier thing. So like, it's cool. I'm probably gonna have to wait for it to come out in Master Duel to play it, because like I said, in paper it's probably gonna be expensive because the cards are higher rarity for no goddamn reason, and it is probably the most playable deck out of the sets that came out in Tactical Masters, the pack I opened.
Mm-hmm.
I got a sick collector's rare Cosmic Cyclone though. That was pretty cool. Looks great. But yeah, so that's been my Master Duel struggle. Like I said, I like Yu-Gi-Oh, but playing it with other humans, especially in a format that is quote unquote competitive, is like, God, very frustrating. Like, I feel almost like Master Duel's meta format is like the worst possible meta, because it is forced to best of one and it's just the ranked ladder usually. But like I said, the festivals are funny, and they've been adding more cosmetics to some of that stuff. So I'll keep an eye out when new sets release and stuff. But definitely, like, now that I got my scapegoat, I'm like, I'm not playing this game for like at least a week. Fuck you, buddy. But I've got my adorable little scapegoat. Whew. But all right, that's the only thing that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, no, well,
for surezies that I had left. So we're at about 3 hours. It's raining on Lucky's Island.
you know, I'm just setting up some minions.
Return to Lucky Island.
What do I want to
But
put here?
I could use some food, some late night food.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling some
And
foot.
wrap up this audio. So it sounds like it's probably a good time to break this on down and get on out of here.
Yeah.
All right. So hey, if you haven't already, make sure to go back and check out Let's Talk FGO. I know the show is shorter this week, but there's only so much we can talk about. If you're hurting on time, make sure to go back and check out our Gensakai AP. We're up to 4 episodes now that are out. You can watch. You can also listen to them in audio format. You can get the MP3 if you're a Patreon. Again, Monday stream, we're going back to Great Ace Attorney. We will defeat this case eventually.
Eventually.
We just had some, as usual, we had some frustrating gameplay mementos that we had to work through last time. But we did actually make some progress. So we'll be sure to check back in with that and everything. And like I said, remember, Wednesday. I believe that is the 31st of August, right?
Yes.
Yes. Wednesday, August 31st. Final Fantasy XIV, free trial, me, PS5. Oh, actually, I had something I wanted you to talk about.
What?
Probably just briefly, because I don't know how much, but you got your birthday present from me, the Final Fantasy XIV cookbook.
Oh,
You were
yeah.
very psyched about that when it arrived.
Oh, yeah, no, it's amazing. Hang on, let me go, grab it real quick here.
Okay. But yeah, that'll be Wednesday. We may or may not be fail betrayal. Tuesday, we'll see. We'll see what's up. Oh, I will also once again plug if you like that Yu-Gi-Oh conversation, if you're one of our Yu-Gi-Oh boys, go back and watch this week's episode of Progression Tournament. It did actually come out, and like I said, I have a decent chance of winning it this week. So. And if it has literally been 20 weeks since I won an episode of my own show, chat. So give it a go.
Yeah. So last Tuesday was my birthday. I turned 35 that day. I got many things. I got several light novels, a couple video games. I got me a mala, which is the 108 bead bracelet that you see in like Tibetan and Buddhist culture and religion. I really like it. I wear it constantly, and it constantly catches my fucking wrist hair. I'm literally gonna shave my wrist, so I don't have to fucking deal with that. Anyway, but among one of the books I received, Omega sent me the Ultimate Final Fantasy XIV online cookbook, the Essential Culinarian Guide to Hydaelyn. It is a officially licensed 14 product, and it is a fairly big book. Let's see here. It's over 190 pages, and has actually an astonishing amount of of um food. Like do I just want to read through them all? Like, I think I might. So
Whatever floats your boat, buddy.
yeah, no.
I'm gonna go eat dinner right after this.
Yeah, so like, and because this is the thing that was killing me. It's like, this is such a multicultural recipe book. It's kind of fucking amazing. So
I assume they probably. I mean, Square Enix is a global company, so I assume when they decided to license this, they probably farmed it out pretty decently.
No, actually, apparently, they actually had all this awful information originally. Let me read the foreword here by Naoki Yoshida, the director and producer of Final Fantasy XIV. He says, "Thank you for your interest in this book. Herein, you'll find recipes for dishes that appear in the video game Final Fantasy XIV. Our development team goes through great lengths in devising the recipes to be featured in the game by researching various cuisines around the globe, arranging those to match the world settings in Final Fantasy XIV, as well as considering what type of ingredients and seasonings would be used for them in-game. In this book, the recipes of those in-game dishes have been arranged so that they can be reproduced using real-life ingredients and seasoning. It's been a truly interesting endeavor, and I hope you'll savor the delicious flavors in every dish. So I hope that you, our warriors of light, will try your hand at crafting them." On a final note, for those of you who may have thought this was just another cookbook when you picked it up, why not take this opportunity to jump into the world of Final Fantasy XIV? I'd be very happy if this inspires you to give the game a go.
I know you said the forward was by Yoshi P, but I half expected the meme.
Yeah, and there's a little picture of them. And
no, wow. So they just had all this research for the game anyway and decided to turn it into a cookbook. Damn.
Yep, no. And this book is basically told from the perspective of two characters, a Moogle and a Namasu, who are on a culinary adventure. After that, they have a location detail that talks about a lot of the in-game locations of Final Fantasy XIV. So if you don't know the game, when they talk about certain locations, you'll know what they're talking about. They have an ingredients guide for like a lot of because it's written in English, but they have things for like abarage, beet sugar, birch syrup, bonito flakes, dashi stock, furikake, fish stock, gailan, capondanza, like a lot of, looks like mostly like a lot of like Japanese and Chinese things, but you know, the little bit things that, you know, people might not necessarily use in, you know, their everyday cooking.
The kind of stuff that, you know, the developers would be familiar with and be ready to rock on.
Mm-hmm. But let's see here. In Breakfast, which has a little food quest icon above it, I love it. Like, I love the visual presentation in this book. I really do. I should just take pictures and show people. But for breakfast, we have almond cream croissants, the minstrel ballad almond cream croissants, which means they're fucking harder than the normal ones. Then we have the dodo omelet, a farmer's breakfast. The farmer breakfast looks delicious, by the way. It's a skillet meal. Let me see here. Let me pull up the ingredients here. It's potatoes, salt and pepper, oregano, olive oil, eggs, kielbasa, bacon, shallots, parsley. Just all like thrown into a skillet. I'm just like, this sounds so good. I can't pronounce this word. La Nuscayan toast, which is basically walnut bread. It's basically walnut. It's basically French toast, but made with walnut bread. I'm like, oh my god. I'm drooling a little bit here. Nutrient pouring an Oriental breakfast. Did I say lemon waffle? There's lemon waffles in here. But you know that traditional Japanese breakfast that you see in a lot of the anime and whatnot? They have how to make it here. I was just like, nice. What? Royal eggs. Basically eggs Benedict. Salmon muffins. Wildwood scrambled eggs, which is basically a bunch of herbs and mushrooms paired with scrambled eggs. We move on from there to appetizers, and we got crab croquettes, deviled egg, a forest meat kebab, a furimaki roll, jerk jamel, which is just jerky. They teach you how to make jerky in here.
Nice.
A meat kebab, potato salad, a sandwich basket, Like the sandwich basket actually looks really, really nice. It's just that again, you see these in this anime too. Just they go on a picnic, they just open up a basket and it's just full of sandwiches. It's that. Step salad. It's just it's a salad. Tuna meat kebab. And then they have breads. They have bacon bread, cornbread, honey muffin, Ishgardian muffin, walnut night bread, and walnut bread. Like they have
Nice.
they have just like a few recipes for like everything. Oh, the Ishgardian muffin is an English muffin. Huh. Neat. Then we got soups and stews, and we got boobalise, Senin. What is this? Let's see here. What is in this? It's butter, olive oil, leek, onion, shallot, celery, garlic. Oh, it's a potato and leek soup.
Ah, a classic.
It is a classic.
I think I made and ate a lot of those in Skyrim.
Yeah. Then we have exquisite beef stew, lentils and chestnut, miso soup with tofu, Odin, Orobon stew. Let's see here. Orobon is, let's see here. This looks like, let's see, butter, onion, garlic, celery, carrot, sage, thyme, basil, chicken. Ah, it's chicken noodle soup. No, I mean, not chicken noodle soup. It's just a chicken. No, it's chicken and dumpling soup. There it is, because there's a dumpling recipe here, too.
Yeah.
Sky Builder stew. That looks like also like chicken and vegetable. Then we have main dishes. I don't know how to pronounce this. It's like Banxiao. It's Banhxeo.
That's the thing that I would need a Dallas for.
Yeah. Battered fish with a side of potato. Let's see. There's a noodle dish called balscalia. Looks like noodles and mushrooms. Creamy salmon pasta. Deep fried okeanos.
Neat.
Mole loaf. That's just Salisbury steak, it looks like. Pan fried mahi mahi. Pizza.
Hey.
Let's see here. Pork kakuni. Rare roast beef. Starlight dodo. That's just the for white band. Stuffed cabbage rolls. Ooh, these look good. Trapper's quiche. Then we have side dishes here. We got chawan mushi. Cheese.
I should ask. I assume this cookbook is lovingly photographed.
Oh my god! No, every single recipe has a picture on it.
Yeah.
Like, I am getting super fucking hungry. We have.
I literally ordered some groceries from Walmart while you were reading this list. Like I'm like, okay, I knew I needed to do a food drop, but I'm like, all right, let's just do that now.
Yeah, let's see here.
Well, think about it.
Imam Balidi. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce this, but it looks like a stuffed eggplant.
Neat.
Mashed potatoes. It's just mashed potatoes. A mushroom saute. Potatoes au gratin. Ratatouille. Spinach saute. Then we have desserts. We have apple strudel. Cheese souffle. Chocobo cake. Coffee biscuit. If you guys were playing, oh my god, they actually do have Rin and Gaia as the fucking, on the image. Oh my god. If you guys were playing 14 back when, Shadowbringer was coming, everyone knows coffee biscuits. Coffee biscuits were the best way to make, money. Well, not best way, but a stable way of making gil in the game. They have Dongo. And here, Kupo nuts. Oh, what is this? The Moogle has a little thing here. Says like, what are these ingredients, Kupo? Kupo nuts are just Kupo nuts. Oh, papanasi. What is this? Papanasi. It looks like a donut. Let's see, it has sour cream sauce, rolling berry jam, and donuts. Yeah, no, they're just covered donuts. Jesus. Princess pudding. Rolling berry cheesecake.
Actually, I have to ask: is there a flan in here?
Let's see. Sesame cookies. No, there is no flan.
Well, there's a pudding in there.
Yeah, there is a pudding.
By the way, I just googled coffee biscuits. 14 is the best result. Delicious.
Yeah. Here's the one
When
that...
it gets cold, I'll have to see about calling up for some baking down here.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was no fucking way I'm turning on an oven in this climate.
Oh, I bet.
I have like the recipes to make my own like personal pizzas and shit. I'm just like, I don't want to turn on the fucking stove right now.
Yeah. And the final section here is drinks, actually. This is the thing that floored me. Because we have Crimson Cider, doens't, Espresso con Panna, High Elixir, Hot Chocolate, Ishgardian Tea, Lemonade, Matcha, Mold Peat, Pixie Berry Tea, Warm Wine, and X Potion for our drinks.
And, what's the difference between the High Elixir and the X Potion?
Let's see here. Well, they seem like they're alcoholic. The High Elixir is rosemary ice with curacao, gin, triple sec, lime juice, and maple syrup.
Interesting.
And let me see here. X Potion is... Let's see here. Sugar, honey, water, dried lavender. And then the lavender citrus juice is lemon juice, lime juice, made with the syrup, mixed with the syrup, water, and then optional food dye. And then okay, so that's the mix. Okay. So you make the lavender citrus juice, and then you mix it with alcohol, which is gin, Moscato, and Moscato.
Interesting. And so they actually give you the syrup recipe as well.
Yeah.
Like your lavender infusion.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about this because there's a lovely YouTube channel, by the way, called How to Drink. I should actually, I should leave some comments next time Greg does a video being like, yo, Greg, this Final Fantasy 14 cookbook has drinks in it. You should make them.
You should. But no, like, everything has a picture of it, and they have their ingredients list, and they have their instruction, and none of it's really complex. Like,
yeah.
And stuff, and...
For research for my own, which are very simplified, but my own food adventures for Gensakai, I did actually pick up a digital copy of there is an official, I think it's called Feast of Heroes, because that's a spell, an official D&D cookbook, which is kind of in this vein. The production value is not nearly as high as what you described. Like, they do occasionally have pictures for most of them, but some of the recipes don't. And they're kind of broken up into a wide variety of things. They also go a lot more hardcore on the different races or species. Like, they'll have human cooking, elf cooking, halfling cooking, etc. But yeah, no, I'm glad the book went over so well.
No, I'm excited for this. Like, I'm actually going grocery shopping tomorrow. I'm going to try and... I got to figure out some recipes that I do want to do. Like this farmer skillet actually sounds really good. But yeah, let me just put this away real quick. But yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah. Well, it took us over 3 hours, so I think I will do the actual outro. If you want to see me possibly encounter some of these food items, again, Wednesday, I'll probably be starting a little earlier than we usually do on stream because I will want to block out plenty of time. Anyway, I will do the whole outro spiel now. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like. If you have any comments, if you're watching this, later in the VOD form, you can leave in the comment section down below. You can also hit up our Discord, link is in the video description and on the channel page. If you are new here and haven't already, please subscribe to our channel to make sure you're subbed for when new stuff comes out. And also make sure to ring that bell for notifications so you always know when we do stream or release a new video. You can also join our channel memberships. Well, Lucky and I aren't in person, so that would be difficult. He can bring his own coffee biscuits, but that would be sad for me.
Oh, I should learn how to make coffee biscuits.
I mean, you should, but that doesn't. By this Wednesday, that doesn't help us. I don't even think even if you made them, you could ship them to me. Also, you should not ship desserts, I guess technically.
I've tried. They got destroyed before they got there.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
in game, I mean, he could, but we'll see.
Oh, I could totally make these Koopa nuts too.
I know there is a lot of funny haha bits you can do in Final Fantasy, so God knows we could end up just sitting in a cafe somewhere in game on stream. I'm sure. Oh, sorry, rolling my bones. But anyway, make sure you're subbing, you have the bell for notification. You can also join our channel memberships, get access to membership badges and emotes. You see lots of them displayed now. Check it out. It's really good to support us, and it will help support me in either a future Final Fantasy 14 sub, or, you know, also, again, more recently, the controller I need to probably buy because mine's acting up. I literally ordered food on stream as well, so, you know, support our channel memberships. Keep me fed. Keep me in controllers. Two vital parts of our life business plan. You can also support us by supporting us on Patreon. You can access to episodes early and audio format, so you can get the audio of this or any of our previous What's Ups for as little as $1 a month or approximately $10 a year. At higher levels, you can access topic polls, videos early, other fun things, all of which help support us out, as do just your views and your clicks. So, you know, be sure to recommend it to a friend. And we'll see you guys next time, whenever that is. Probably Monday.
Have a good evening,
night,
everyone.
Everybody.
Bye.